that should be working now, actually. Yeah, seems to be. Right. Okay then. Now, so it's Mr. Staniforth, isn't it? Tom
Staniforth.
Let me just make sure my tapes are going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just talking to make sure it's working. Oh, I think it is, yeah. Seems to be alright, that's 17. Right then. Well, I don't know where you're going to start because I can see you've already got loads of photographs out and everything, haven't you? Do you want to start with when you were born and where you were born and what can you remember?
Born at 1 High Street.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Is that where Butchers is then?
Yeah.
You're actually born in.
Yeah. Over the bay window. There's a bay window up front, still there. I was born in bedroom over the bay window.
That's. Oh, was it a Butchers then?
Yeah.
So when was that then? Just a minute ago.
1922.
Yeah.
1922. Mm.
His family took it over in 1896.
Yeah. So just tell me again then. So 1922 you were born there,
Yeah.
and who lived in that house then?
It was all Duckett's family.
So there were your mum.
Duckett's family.
Who were they?
And my mother had been married about 18 months when I was born. And she had a bedroom over the bay window. But then when I was about 5 years old, they bought a bungalow up Southall Green, which you said you'd been to.
Just explain where that is then. Which one is it? It's
That's
not now.
It was made into 2 houses at one bit, but I think it's one bungalow.
Right.
It's up Southall Green. You know where Patricia used to live?
So it's up. You
Hillcrest,
go up.
up Southall Green.
Up Robin Lane. Yeah.
No, up
Oh,
Southall Green from Southall Bottom.
Yeah.
You go up Southall Green.
Mm.
And remember Hillcrest where you said you'd been with Patricia then?
That farm.
No, just Topside Farm it was.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
And then they built some more bungalows on what used to be gardens.
Right.
And then the stone-built bungalow runs
Called Moorview.
Moorview.
runs sideways on across the road.
Right.
And that bungalow originally it was 2 properties, and across the road where Laurel's there, across the road where Bennett's used to live, and then it was miner's manager, the mine manager for Beighton Colliery. He lived there, and there was a yard where they used to keep hounds there at one time, and the bungalow belonged to the gardener and the one who looked after the hounds across the road.
Oh.
And my dad, when he got it, he made it into one.
Right. What was that for? Some kind of hunt then?
Yeah.
Were they?
Yeah.
What kind? What were they? What kind of hounds? Were they foxhounds?
Foxhounds,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't realise it was that there.
Yeah.
So when did you move into that bungalow? Did you say that?
When I was about 5 years old.
5.
But I only went up there about 2 or 3 weeks, and then they said come back because school's on the crossroad and it's a long way for him to walk to school. So then I came back just there.
So you were
And
back
I'm
then?
more or less brought up at the shop.
Right.
By his grandparents.
You know.
Oh.
So I'm more or less brought up there.
Yeah.
I didn't go home very often.
It was his granddad's shop then,
Yeah. Right.
and his mother had married. Is in the engineering line, you see, Joe Staniforth. So they moved out when they got a place, but they'd got 2 boys by then, and they took them back to the shop, which was their home, and let the grandmother bring them up, and except for going to the mother's at weekends. That was it, wasn't it?
More or less.
Right.
More or less.
So how many brothers and sisters did you have then? When
There's
you were
5 of us.
There were 5 here.
Yeah, 5
Right.
of us.
But they were mainly you that actually lived in that shop.
I was the
You were
oldest,
only one?
yeah.
You were oldest.
Oldest,
Right.
yeah.
So can you tell us a bit about what your first sort of earliest memories were of that shop and living there when you were quite young then?
Well, because we had a little farm then,
And where was that then?
and at the back,
Oh, right.
at the back of the shop, and we had.
That was a farmyard, and that's some.
Yeah, but we had a farm there.
Yeah.
So we had the 2 fields down again at the railway station where Tommy Ward used to be. We had those two down there. With two on Eckington Road where the quarry is next door to that allotment. We had two down there. And with two up trying to think at the name of the road. Up against Fox, back at Fox there.
Skelton Lane.
Skelton Lane, with two at Skelton Lane. With those two in the middle of where Newbolt present is now.
Oh yeah.
They went through to Southall Green.
Right.
And then Mum was taken over and they had chickens on it, didn't they? There was chicken rooms on that.
Oh, they did, yeah.
On there. And then there's one in what used to be called Bates Square. And it was...
Where's that
when
then?
you're going up Drake House Lane, there used to be Oak Chapel at the bottom. I don't really remember that. When it's knocked down, I think. There was a lane at the side of it. And Sharp's bungalow was there. It went at the back of that. And that was a field, just one field. It was backing onto Allen Road houses.
Right.
And that's where I first learned to drive in that field.
Oh yeah.
When I was 1930, I was about 11 years old in 1933. Because my granddad died in 1935 and it was about 2 years before that. And I learned to drive in that field.
At 11? That's quite young, isn't it? Driving.
Yeah.
These days.
I've been driving ever since.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I didn't let him out on the road too soon.
No.
But
So-
it's a good help that though to drive
Oh,
around
it
in the
is.
field, you see, then you can...
Oh, I see,
Yeah.
yeah. Did you used to help? Because so there's these fields all over Beighton,
Yeah,
basically. What did they have in them then?
Well, it cattle
did
and so on, you know.
Mainly cattle?
Well, we had cattle, and I think we had about, what would it be, about 10 beasts in those days,
Right.
and we had pigs
Mm.
and that sort of thing.
So they were all in these different fields all around Beighton?
Well, we just take them from one field to another, you know,
Right.
when it was eaten up a bit, take it to another field, you know. But those two on top of Orchard Lane there, those two fields there, off Eckington Road, they were arable hours.
All right.
In fact, when the war broke out in 39, in 1940, we took about 100 weighted potatoes there and set them because where they'd brought all the sand and spoil off the top of because it used to be sand quarry, all of that was dropped in the bottom there, which was a dip between the two fields.
All right.
And we set those potatoes in there. And when we dug them up later on in the year, I think we got about a ton of potatoes because it was virgin soil.
Oh,
It had never been used before.
So it was a good crop then, for war
yeah,
effort.
yeah.
So that's right. So when you were quite young then, what were your life consisting of? Did you used to work on farm quite a lot, help out really?
Well,
Did you?
yeah.
Even
And
though
when you
were
went to
young?
school, you'd
You wasn't allowed to play.
feed chickens before you went, and
Were
feed
it?
pigs and all that sort of thing, you know.
Did you?
And
And it was your granddad's shop.
we done that shop, yeah,
So he were butcher.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And how long had he been a butcher then? And how long had he had that shop?
Since what did I do? 1890.
1896, when your
1896.
mother was 8 months old, I think.
And he had a shop in Sheffield in.
Oh, did
I'm trying to think of it. Where it was.
Yes, I got
Where was it? Your firm? Broom.
Not Broom Spring Lane, somewhere around.
Broomhill.
Broom
Broomhill.
somewhere around
Yeah.
Broom.
Oh,
yeah.
So he had two shops then?
Well, no,
that's
it was
all they
before he
moved.
Oh, I
came to
see.
Yeah.
Why did you move to Beighton then? Do you know? Why did your family move?
He was going to move to Ridgeway because he fancied, moving out of Sheffield to
Right.
Ridgeway, but then something cropped up and he took Beighton shop instead of the Ridgeway shop.
Right.
So that's how he came to live there.
Right. So that was your granddad's shop. What
Yeah.
were your dad doing? What did your dad do then? Did he
My
run
dad,
a
my
farm?
dad
No.
worked at Sickleworks for quite a while at Eckingthorpe. And then when my granddad died, my granddad Staniforth, when he died, he was a builder.
Mm.
And my dad took over at building side,
Oh.
and he did repairs to various houses and that.
Mm.
And in fact, if you go
So
up,
he was really nothing to do with the shop. It was.
if you go up Drake House Lane and look, there's 2 houses that stand back where Fentons and Guites used to live.
Right.
There's a brick road, isn't there, when you go up Drake House Lane?
Yeah.
But there's 2 houses just past that.
Mm.
And Mrs. Fenton family lived in one and Guites in the other. And if you go up their path, you'll see a manhole cover.
Oh yeah.
And it says W. Staniforth, builder.
Oh.
On it. So it's my granddad.
Right.
And he was church warden at Beighton at the time.
You what, church?
Church warden.
Right.
Yeah.
So one granddad were a builder
Yeah,
then, and
yeah.
your other granddad were this butcher?
Butcher, yeah.
Butcher,
Yeah.
right. What about your grandmas? What did they, were they
Well, my
figures
grandma,
in it at all? Did they do?
my grandma Staniforth at one time, she used to be the help at the vicarage.
All right.
She used to go to the vicarage and help out a couple of days a week
Mm.
in various aspects. I think she did some cleaning for them, but I think she also did some secretarial work, if I remember rightly.
Oh yeah.
But my other grandma, because she used to help at the shop, and that was.
Right. Mm. And were it quite a busy shop then? Can you
Yeah,
can you remember
yeah,
when you were little?
Yeah.
I mean, when you were only you say you were about before you went to school, I suppose. Can you remember?
Oh, before I went to school, as I grew older, say after I was about 11, we used to milk cattle down at where Tommy Ward's used to be. There's a footbridge, you know, when you go down at Sandhurst School, and there's a footbridge. And on your left-hand side, we used to take 2 chains down and fasten cows up there, and milk them there with the yoke on them, and then used to bring 2 buckets of milk up, and take 4 buckets, take 2 down
Over that big bridge?
over that bridge, and then bring it up, and then take buckets back again. That was before I went to school.
I bet that were hard work.
Well,
Anyway.
it was one of them things.
And you actually did that before you went to school?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were well into working, weren't you, really, when you were quite young, I suppose?
Well, I mean, that's been my life all
In your
I think.
life, yeah. So can you remember much about school then? Because obviously you would have just gone across the road, wouldn't you?
At school, I can remember
Anything about that?
Huts being. We went into it used to be huts back at school where the lads used to be in huts, you know. Girls used to be upstairs, and infants and juniors downstairs. And that long room downstairs, in infants, it was used to one of those where you opened it up, you know, your centre, you could push it back, and it was all open into one big room.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And I can remember going to my first dance there. I don't know, I wasn't very old, and I went to the first dance there, and I think it was the Beighton Woodhouse Hackenthorpe, I think it was, Beighton Woodhouse and Hackenthorpe Tradesmen's Association.
Oh, right.
That Tradesmen's Association, they used to have various functions during the year, but at Christmas they used to let everybody have a free meal. They used to, you know, invite them all up for a free meal. It was in that room usually where they held it. But it's quite a big room that when it was opened up.
So that's inside that old school building?
It's that old school you went in, you turn left, and it's that section.
Yeah.
It used to be nice atmosphere.
Really?
Used to be a lot of hard work with that.
Right.
Because on Feast Sunday, when Beighton Feast used to come every August, they used to have a hospital charity thing, and harnesses used to put on the dodgems. They used to put hymns and various other things, and we used to have a service down there, a united service with like Roman Catholics, Methodists, and Church, Bethel, and all them. They always to join together in a service.
This is for the feast?
At feast on the Sunday. This is on the Sunday. And when it got to about 7 or 8 o'clock at night, they had some great big boxes, wooden boxes they were, with a slit in the top, you know, sloping. And they used to bring them up into the shop, and some big blocks in the centre floor in those days. And they used to empty all this money onto these blocks. And there used to be Mr. Norton, Mr. Money, Mr. Starsmore, my granddad, and that's another couple of members of our family, and possibly Mr. Keeling, because Mr. Keeling was clerk of the council in those days, and it used to be counted, and that used to go to Hospital Sunday. That used to go to charity to hospitals, and the policemen used to be outside, stood outside while it was counted. You know, I can remember that.
When's that then? When's
That was on Feast
what
Sunday.
period are we talking then?
Before the war.
I can remember the
Before-
open air services. I went in 1956.
Yes, but this was before the war, because my granddad died in
Yeah.
1935.
Right.
So it was before, it was in
1930s,
shall we say 1930 to 1935, I can remember it
Yeah.
all happening like that.
Yeah. And I suppose people wouldn't have had much money then either, would they?
No,
Because
no, it was nearly
30s.
all, it was not nearly all copper,
Yeah. Yes, but they still
but
gave.
they still
money.
counted it.
Mm.
They used to make quite a bit of money for hospitals.
Well,
and
you
all,
used
yeah.
to help to count it, so I suppose you'd have only been about.
I don't know.
Young
I used to have to
teenager,
do all
weren't
sorts.
Did you? Have you got any other things you can remember from your school sort of days? Any
Excuse me,
teachers?
that's a lot, really.
Do you want to drink, get Beighton,
Want
because
to
you're
drink?
talking a lot.
I'll have a cup of tea in a bit. They used to.
Any teachers or anything that you can remember
Oh
you
yeah,
used to do
there
at
were,
school?
I was head lad for quite a while, and
Oh yeah.
Dorothy Sellers was head girl.
Alright.
And the Sellers lived in Cross Allen Road. Don't worry, remember that.
I know Cross Allen Road.
Yeah, but she lives in Cross Allen Road. And then she used to come across with stuff for our school, and I had to take it back across.
Because it was split up,
'Cause
boys
it
and
was-
girls.
Boys
then,
were at
right?
one side and girls at the other, do you see?
Right. So you didn't mingle much then?
Well, I can remember when we went to London, a trip to London was the first trip they had from the school
From school to London?
to London, and you know those little cards, club cards, you know, when you numbers on and that. I had to collect money from lads for this trip to London, and some of them paid a penny a week,
Yeah.
because it wasn't a lot to go, because it was a well organised thing. But I used to have to get money off at lads and write it on the card, and then take it to Mr. Felstead, because he was headmaster. Take it to Mr. Felstead, and it was double checked then, entered all up in Master Book, and then we went on this day trip to London.
Did you go on a coach then?
No train,
Did
went from
you?
Beighton station.
That must have been a big event, going
Yeah,
to London.
yes, it
from-
was. It was. I think it was first time they had a day out sort of thing, you know,
Yeah,
and that was it. It was well organised.
yeah.
I remember going around various parts of London, you know, at that time.
Did you have any particular friends then that you knew well?
Well, I mean, you
Knew
do,
everybody?
don't you?
Small place, I suppose,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah. I mean, it's different the way it is now. I don't know anybody hardly now.
No.
In those days, you used to know. Not down there, do I? I mean, I don't know. People know me,
No.
but I don't know them down here, if you know what I mean.
I know plenty.
And then when I go down, it's awkward, because if I go to Crystal Peaks,
Yeah.
I think I'll be down there 10 minutes in and out. I can't, can I? Everybody wants to have a chat.
True. But I suppose everybody knew everybody.
In them
Then,
days,
didn't
yeah,
they? You're
yeah.
talking in 30s, it was
yeah,
quite
yeah.
small.
I mean, when we played football on that field at the back of where Hutch used to be, which is now main
Still-
school,
Yeah, still
it,
feels.
it slopes that field, goes
Yeah,
down
I know what
towards.
you mean.
Well, I was on wing usually,
Oh.
and if you're on wing, you couldn't see where they were at the top, so you used to have to look to see which way they were running, and you had to run the same way to keep pace with it.
So when would you, just thinking, when would you have left school then? 1922, you'd have been,
1936.
yeah, or before war
Left
then.
school
Well
at-
before war.
I left school
yeah.
at 4 o'clock, and I went across to Shortlark,
Yeah.
and I used to take Mrs. Foster, which was headmistress then, used to take her meet every Friday night, and I'd done for a long, long time. This was before I left school. And this particular Friday, I took Mrs. Foster's meat across, and she used to give me a ginger biscuit for taking the meat. I took it across, and unknown to me, she followed me back. she came in the shop, and my grandma and my uncle were there, and she played Hallelujah. She says, that lad has left school at 4 o'clock and he's delivering meat before 5:30. She said, I should think it's the quickest person to start employment. Because she says he's never had a break.
No.
That was just one thing.
Did you ever think of doing anything else then, or were
No,
it just automatic?
It was just automatic
It wasn't allowed to think of anything else.
It was automatic to me.
No.
Same with fairground. Leave them, Sheila.
I'm just doing to straighten them out for you.
Same at fairground.
All right.
On a Saturday night, they hadn't any fridges in those days, you see.
No.
So they used to come and order the meat and sometimes pick it. We used to put it in our fridge. And we had at first time we hadn't a proper fridge. We had it was ammonia type thing. You've seen these lorries going down the road with ammonia on, and they've got frost on the pipes, haven't they? Well, it was one of those, and because it was like a fridge, keep everything stone cold. And at 9 o'clock at night, when we used to shut shop at 9 in those days, Saturday night, but when we shut it, we used to be my brother and eldest sister, next brother to me and his sister. And usually Alan Hall and Jeff Hall, who used to be post office. Do you remember that? We used to have baskets. Some of us had 2 baskets, some of us had 1. We used to go down at fairground at 9 o'clock at night with all these joints of meat and that. When we got down there, they used to say to us, wait a minute, and then they'd come off the stall, they'd take it to the caravan, right, take it out, put it in the caravan, pay us, and then they used to give us tickets, free tickets to go on Dodgems and everything. And we had, we'd stop down there sometimes while nearly midnight to give us tickets up.
That's interesting. I actually never thought about that, 'cause I suppose keeping meat must have been, I mean, the whole sort of process, or how you butchered and everything.
Yeah, all different in them days.
What did they used to
We
do?
used to cook.
Yeah. Did they used to chop it all up in your shop then?
Oh, yeah, kill it as well. Slaughterhouse aside.
Well, at Slaughterhouse then?
Next to the shop going up the road.
Just, I see,
Up
right.
that side,
So they used to fetch your animals. Have you got pictures? Have a look at your pictures. You've
pictures,
got your oldest
on
one
there,
back
wasn't
for
it?
your shop.
Put the shop on.
So you did everything in that.
Oh, yeah,
in
used to buy cattle or kill our own. And
you killed your own though.
Yeah, and buy cattle in, you see.
Yeah. Here with the shop on the side.
There
What
was
some
one.
pictures in your shop?
Don't
I
matter,
thought
don't matter.
So who did all the slaughtering then?
Oh,
Your granddad?
we did it. Yeah, my granddad and then my uncle. And then I started doing it.
When your granddad died, you say your uncle took it over then?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yes, I mean, no problem that,
No. And were they your pigs and your cows?
Yeah, well, we used to buy a lot in.
Right.
Used to buy a lot in as well.
Yeah.
I remember on a Monday morning, when you're talking about slaughtering, on a Monday morning, Pete's used to have a place at Halfway. You know what Halfway Crossroads used to be? Well, it used to be just round the corner to your left, and then there used to be like a big fold yard there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember
I
that?
do.
If you go down there towards Kilmarsh, you know when you go up at Railway Bridge at Kilmarsh, before you get up to Glover's Mill, on the left hand side there's a little sidings. And Pete's used to buy cattle from different parts of the country, and used to come by rail to there,
Yeah.
and then from there they used to say come up to Halfway,
Walk them up
walk
that road.
up to Halfway, and then put them in that fold yard there.
I
at
can remember
Halfway.
it now mentioning
And
it.
then on a Monday morning, they had a contract to take 40 cattle to Rotherham, to Abattoir at Rotherham. And there used to be 40 cattle come down every Monday morning and to take them to Rotherham.
So, and you did you used to get some from there then?
No.
Oh no.
No, we used to get our own.
You didn't have peace?
No, we didn't get any from Pete's, not in them days anyway.
No. Did they have, did Pete's, did they own a lot of land though? in
Oh,
Beighton,
yeah,
did they?
yeah.
Did they have
All that land
lots of
from
farms?
back of you,
That
back
were
of
all
you,
Pete's,
right way through to halfway,
Mm.
right up to Masborough. That was nearly all their lands, you know.
Yeah. And how come your family had a few fields here and there? Have they had it
Well,
a
it
long
was
time?
in
Most
those-
of them were rented,
In
weren't
those days,
Oh, were
in those days,
They
that's how
rented.
it happened. They were
Mm.
all nearly all rented.
Right, I see. But he were main landowner. I
Yeah.
suppose.
When those two were down again railway station, it gave Tommy Watts
Yeah.
and that, but it's still field.
Yeah.
We lost ever so many cattle there with flooding
Oh, right.
at different times.
Did you?
Yeah,
And they got drowned?
yeah, they get drowned. Yeah, if we didn't get down, some of the splits start coming up. If we
Mm.
didn't get down and bring them to, there was one little piece up at the side of the railway line where it was a bit higher than the
Mm.
rest. You see, if we get them up there,
Mm.
or if we could, we used to bring them straight home.
Right.
Want to tell about one of Pete's cattle falling over that wall onto School Road and getting up and trotting up the road?
Oh, that did, yeah. But we had an old horse called Bess.
You had some horses, did you?
Well, yeah, and this old horse called Bess.
Mm.
If she was down in that field, and we went down to her
Yeah.
to bring cattle up or whatever,
Mm.
she hadn't got a saddle or anything down there, so we used to ride bareback. And she used to ride through floods
Mm.
and bring us up onto the main road and bring us that way. And with nothing to hold her with. You just sat on her back and brought her up. As soon as you sat on her back, she
She
said,
knew,
"Come on, lass, get home."
knew what to do.
And she knew what to do. But we had harness or anything on, you see. You just
No.
sat and trusted to look. But she could walk. There was only a little bit where there's a bit of bridge. If you still look, it's probably still there.
Yeah.
Where you go down to W Woods. It's not very wide.
I know where you
And
mean,
wide as
yeah.
if it were. But she used to
Yeah.
get through.
And you can remember them floods down there.
Oh, yeah.
Then. Every year, that did it happen every year?
Oh, regular. It happened regular at one time.
Mm.
In fact, there was four cottages down there,
Mm.
side at what used to be Railway Inn.
Mm.
And to get meat to them, Slaters used to have it as a scrapyard at the back of there
Oh, yeah.
in those days. And you used to go down the railway station and cross where Slaters was, and there was an old rickety bridge across River Rother. We used to cross that, and then there was a 9-inch wall. We used to walk on this 9-inch wall to take meat to these our people in houses. I mean,
Bit precarious, that,
I
isn't
couldn't
it?
swim or nothing. It was a bit. I remember somebody called Mrs. Batty. She lived down there. I remember taking meat down there to them.
So you used to do a lot of delivering?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Generally, how did you deliver it then? Walking or
Walking.
bicycle or what?
We had a trap at one. When I first remember, we had a trap, horse and trap. We used to deliver it with that. In fact, when we used to go to Sheffield, we used to go out by horse and trap to Intake,
Yeah.
and Sam used to come to Intake.
Oh, right.
And then we used to get on there.
What, you'd leave your horse and trap
No,
there?
One
they
of-
went
one-
back, did
One
they?
of them would go
Oh, I
back, you
see.
see.
Right.
And then we tried to make arrangements to be there at say 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and then they'd come back and pick us up at that time.
And did you go into Sheffield much when you were young
Not,
then?
no, not a lot. Oh, if
No.
we hadn't been trained, we were all right with train, you see.
Yeah.
It'd be like going abroad, going
I
Yeah.
bet. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So you used to deliver it with you
we
used
used
to
to do by push bike and that.
push bike, did you?
Yeah, and then we got a Model T Ford when first Ford vans came out.
Oh,
We
right.
had a Model T Ford.
When would that be?
Oh, don't know. Before my granddad died in 1935.
Oh, you had a one. What, delivered your meat with that,
Yeah,
did you?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Yeah.
Were there any characters in Beighton that you can remember from
Oh,
30s
yeah.
then? Anybody from that
There was
period?
Steamboat Bill. Has anybody told you about
No.
Steamboat Bill? Well, where the Railway Inn was, there was a cottage or two cottages around the corner, at back at, well, side of really the Railway Inn. So when you came down over the bridge like that, because you used to go down into a big dip there, you know, it's a big bit. And on your left-hand side there were these 4 cottages, then there was Railway Inn, and then when you went round the corner, there were, I don't know, 1 or 2 little cottages there, but he lived in there, one of them, and it was steam little steam engines, like railway engines, things like that. He was fantastic. He was a nice old chap.
Yeah.
He was ever so clever. He knew how to make. He used to make all these sort of things. Everybody used to go on steamboat there.
You used to take him his meat, did you? Is that how you
I
do
think
it?
so. But
Yeah.
yeah. In fact, I can't remember who we took meat to when we were nothing.
No. Did you just go around Beighton with meat?
No, Actonthorpe,
Oh, did you?
Ridgeway,
Oh, right, that's a lot.
and when before I finished, we did Halfway, Mosborough, Ridgeway, Freshville, Actonthorpe, up this end as well, Swan.
Yeah.
All people that had moved out of Beighton wanted
Yeah.
us to continue trading off of you. See,
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of other butchers in Beighton as well.
Yeah,
Oh, what else were there then? When you were young, like in the 30s and that, was there that other one at top of
there was
Robin
Renshaws.
Lane?
There were Renshaws
Where's that one?
in Orchard Lane. He shot himself, did on this.
Did it?
There was Renshaws in Orchard Lane. There was bottom of Southall where Co-op used to be. Where that butcher shop is now, that was the butchers in those days. Going up Southall Green, there was Jack Clark's.
Oh yeah, I think my mum, he used to come to our house.
Yeah,
Clark.
and then down, when you went down Queen's Road at top end, there was Cliff Clark. Bottom end there was Mr. Norton. Bottom of Beighton there was Sam Waller with pork pies and pork, he did all pork things. And then there was where the
Pleasances, what about them?
Pleasances, then there were Pleasances, well they took it on after.
Oh, I see.
Pleasances had that cafe, didn't she?
She did, yeah, later on, I remember.
And but Cliff Clark started in one of those there, Cliff Clark, before he went to Queen's Road.
Right.
And then opposite side of the road to Cliff Clark was there, bottom, there's another co-op shop, Co-op Butchers. And Henry Ashwell, he used to be manager down there.
There were a lot of butchers then.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, nearly every corner in Beighton had a shop on it.
Yeah.
Either greengrocer or grocers or whatever. I mean, there were a stack of shops.
There were, weren't there? Didn't realise there were so many butchers though.
I mean, when I was telling you about the Tradespeople's Association, all these people were in trade, and they used to have at least 2 outings per year, like go to Boots or Roundtrees. I went to Roundtrees and I went to Boots, but they used to have others. But if they had that when schools were holidaying, I could go with them. But if they had it when schools weren't holidaying, I couldn't go with them. But it was always on a Wednesday. The shop shut at 1. Excuse me. And at 2 o'clock we should be off, you see, somewhere, in coat by coat. And I remember going to Roundtrees at York. They booked us in for a meal, and then we went to a show at night. I remember it ever so well. It was a nice day out, you know.
Yeah.
And we went to Boots at Nottingham, the headquarters. It was a nice association, you know, one of those nice
Do you want a drink? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'll have a cup.
Right. Do you want to
No, I'm alright.
You want to move on?
No, I'm alright, thanks. I'm supposed to be. So did you used to get on alright with all the other butchers then?
Oh,
we all friended together because you were in competition, weren't you?
Well,
Quite a
you're
lot
in
then.
competition, but at the same time.
Yeah, but people's life was different then. There was no fast meals,
Oh, no.
school. There was no school meals, so
No.
mothers stayed at home, cooked a meal for all the family in the middle of the day.
No, I mean,
Every day.
it was
So
different.
everything that they
Oh,
ate
yeah.
came from
Everything
the
was
butchers,
different
sort of
then.
thing,
Yeah.
so needed a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Everything was different then. I mean, in fact, we did tell people that when I took shop over in 60s, about
1960s, right? Yeah.
when I took shop over then, we used to, Cliff Clark, Jack Clark, Sam Lexus took, because he was Norton's son-in-law, he took over when Mr. Norton died, and me, the last 4 of us. And if I was going to go to Abattoir on a Saturday morning, because I was short of, say, legs of lamb, we'd ring one another up and say, do you want anything? And we used to bring it for one another. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
So it was all cooperation.
That's quite
one with
interesting,
another.
that.
And Sam Lights and myself, for 4 or 5 years, we used to go over to Gale, to some farms there, buy cattle. Then they used to come in cattle wagon later on Sunday, and then we'd kill them on a Monday morning. But we people didn't know that we were buying one of us
Yeah.
brought the other by for them.
No, so you're sharing it.
It was all
That's
that
interesting,
type
isn't it?
of thing.
Yeah. So actually, going back to when you were young, before war, sort of thing. Did you not have any time for doing anything then, apart from just working in shop basically and
Well, I mean,
helping out? You didn't. There weren't any leisure time really.
When you
much.
live on a farm, you have enough to keep you going without anything else. Oh, I mean, we used to have a game with local lads and that sort
Football,
of thing.
play football or
Football up at farmyard and things like that.
You mentioned church though. Were you involved with church
Hello,
when you were younger?
I was involved with church right from early days, really. In fact, there's lots of things about church which nobody will tell you because there's a photograph. I don't know if I can get hold of it or not. I know who's got it. There's a photograph of the old vicarage. Now, the old vicarage, people said it was, when you're going from Church Lane down to church, underneath the Lich Gate, they said it was in that far left-hand corner. But, if you go down about 8 or 10 graves on your left-hand side, you'll see Wilkinson's. It's a grey granite or marble grave. Now, when they was digging that grave out, they found the original stones cellar down below. And that grave, when they were lowering their coffin down, they had to go over to the right-hand side to drop it in.
And what were they cellar from then?
From the old vicarage.
Oh, an
it was
older
there.
vicarage.
It was there, not where they said it was. It was there.
Right.
So, I mean...
That's interesting, isn't
Yeah.
it?
And then, just a bit further down there, Hugh Robotham, when he was digging a grave, one night, he'd been getting harvesting, so he was late, and he got to get this grave dug out for the next day, you see. And he'd started it, but he hadn't finished it. So he had to finish it out at night and get up next morning and do it. So he decided to finish it off at night. Well, when they were digging graves there, they had a little ladder with about 5 rungs, about 4 or 5 foot, you see. So they used to lower it into the bottom of the grave to dig it at the bottom and throw it up, you see. And he was in there one night, and he just measured up to see if everything was right side. They were coming up, and there were 2 girls came down, and they ran down, all like mad.
That's a good one, that. I thought it was somebody
Yeah,
getting
I thought it
out.
was somebody coming out.
Oh, dear. I suppose you lived with it, didn't you, really?
Yeah,
Because you were right,
yeah.
you were next to a graveyard all the time, weren't
When
you?
I was church warden,
Oh, you were church warden, were you? When was that? When were you
about 3
church?
times at 5 years each stretch,
Oh, right.
in 60s and 70s. And when I was church warden, there were some lads went into tower. Some lasses had dared them to get into church, something like that. This is how it went. And they crawled up with the porches and on that slanting roof, and when at the top of the tower there's some slanting stones, and they crawled through them and got inside. And then when they got inside, the beams where the bells, they're only about a foot wide. They went on these beams and came down a spiral staircase and got out at the bottom and opened the door and got to the vestry and went out. But in doing so, one of them dropped his wallet, didn't he, with his driving licence and everything. So, of course, they found out who had done it straight away.
Oh, dear, it's a bit daft, isn't it? Can't believe somebody did that, could they? Could have killed themselves, couldn't
Oh,
they?
aye,
Really?
yeah. Because there's 2 double steps, in those stairs.
And what are they then?
Well, every one house is perhaps 8 or 9 inches wide. It's a narrow one.
All right.
So when you're going up or down, you have to get on outside
Yeah.
and get your foot sideways on. You can't put your foot on like you would do with a normal staircase. There's a trick in getting up. Why?
Right.
putting
And
your-
why is that then?
I don't know what it's an ancient way of doing it or what, but there's two devil steps going
Yeah,
on.
that's what they call them, devil steps.
Mm.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. If while you're on that churchyard there, Frank Money used to be fantastic in all historical societies. I mean, what Frank didn't know was nobody's business. And he used to say that if you went top of a hill and looked down, your crops would be a different colour. You might see one field where it was a light green, and the next field would be dark. And what it was underneath there were limestone that they built a road, and he traced it from Roach Abbey right way through to Beighton. And then he went through a lot of more ancestral papers, and he found out that there was nuns had a little place there. They call it, not call it a monastery, do they?
Nunnery.
Nunnery. And if traced out one thing or another, found out that those 41 steps going down at the bottom, that monks came from there and did it because there was no water in them days. And when you go down those steps, you go over that little bridge, up look at that, and you're down left, don't you? Well, before you go up that stile and the corner there used to be a stone trough on that side, and that's where they used to come and get the water from. And I can remember one year when there was no water at all in the taps, and we all used to be going down to Treat. It was called Treat and Trough. We used to go down there with buckets and get water for ourselves and for cattle.
Blimey. There was no water in your taps? Why
No,
was that
it
then?
was one of that. Well,
Just drought.
drought, like
Really?
yeah.
And it was drinkable, that water?
Oh
then?
yes, perfectly all right.
Ah.
In fact, it came from some springs at the Laurels, up Southall Green, and it was piped, and the clay pipe was about 3 inches wide, because we had them fields, you see, and it came down that field and went into that trough. Now when they built those houses on Newbold, it was still running. So, I don't really know where Mrs. Neville lives, on Newbold. Well, it goes round, and then there's a footpath through to that little field, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, somewhere there's a grate, and that pipe, water comes out of that pipe and goes into that grate.
Oh,
Still.
yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Spring water in Beighton.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever mentioned that to me before. That's interesting.
Oh, well, that's where it's lovely, lovely drinkable water actually.
And it's still there then?
It's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what we're on about. Oh, great. On about church. Anything else about church? Yeah. What, were you involved with church as a youngster then?
Yeah, well,
You went
you
to
know,
Sunday school,
when
did
my
you?
teens and that, you know.
Yeah, and your
most of that,
teens
yeah.
mainly.
There was on the war broke out on the
I'm gonna say
in
what-
September in 1939.
You were 17 then, weren't you? Then?
Yeah.
You'd been working
Yeah.
for a few years.
There was a bus load of us went from Beighton Church to Staveley Church for confirmation.
Right.
There was a whole bus load for us went.
Was that on the actual day that war broke out then?
No, in December the 13th of that year,
Oh.
from 1939.
Hey, oh no, 1939.
Yeah.
Right.
There was a bus load full.
Really?
Sharps buses took it, I know.
Sharps buses.
Yeah.
Where were Sharps from?
Sharps West Street, bottom. You know that place is down there. Does he do
Yeah.
motor car
Jet.
repairs?
They do jet skiing or something.
Well,
don't they?
that's where
That
the
was a
Sharps used to be
coach
there.
place then. Yeah. Sharps.
Sharps West Street. There was Ernest
Mm.
and what was one? There were two brothers.
Mm.
And to think of them,
There was two what?
two Sharp brothers attached, but coaches.
Mm.
Fred was one. And it,
There's McCann, you know, they went their garage up. It caught
Nice.
fire once, you know.
Did it?
Mm.
Oh, right.
And I don't think they lost any butchers.
No.
But it was at the actual where garage is now. It
Yeah.
was there when it caught fire. And I remember I went up back to that shop there, and you could see straight across the Manners Road. And the top black smoke going over. Yeah.
I bet it was.
Yeah.
What about getting towards wartime then? 1939. What you were 17 then, weren't you?
Yeah.
You'd have been working in your shop for
Yeah.
3 or 4 years then.
Yeah.
When did you leave? How old were you when you left school then? Finished
14.
14. Oh, so you had a few years. Oh, only 3 years though. Yeah.
Mm.
So how did that affect your shop? Because I mean, they were rationing and all
Oh
sorts.
yeah. It caused you really a lot more work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
But I just thought butchers were quite a sort of centre for everybody, weren't it then? Because everybody'd be wanting a bit of meat.
Butchers.
Gotta get what the butcher
Our
got.
allocation of meat,
Mm.
Fort Butcher, it was allocated out at Chesterfield,
Right.
at Chesterfield Abattoir.
Mm.
And one of us used to go and load the van up. Well, New Zealand lamb used to come with the legs folded over and inside the trunk. So instead of a lamb being 3.5, 4 foot long, it was only just over 2 foot. So with a little giant van then, and we could get 40 lambs in that van because they were all sort of folded up. And a lot of times we didn't get any beef or anything, and we get allocation of so much protein, so many lambs. And one of us used to go and fetch it from Chesterfield and take it to Kilmarsh, what used to be Kilmarsh Court butcher there, the slaughterhouse. We used to take it there. Then all butchers from round about used to go there and get their allocation. But now and again there would be a lambs. Name of the firm was Lamb from Chesterfield. They're still there, and they used to get all these allocations on their lorry and then bring it round.
Alright.
But it was
From
pretty well organised.
Right.
Yeah.
From the point of view of the person with the ration book, if I remember rightly, it was rationed out by price rather than quantity. You could, I think at first it was a shilling a week on
So
the meat.
you got so much to
So
spend.
if you bought
That's right.
if you bought sirloin, you didn't get as much as if you'd chosen a cheaper cut.
No,
Because it
right. So you got so much
priced
money to
differently.
spend, and then
So you've got to do a lot of
yeah.
jiggling about sort of
Yeah.
thing.
But you could spend your sort of money on whatever you wanted, I suppose, couldn't you? Yeah.
Well, you know, it was a case of you could only have so much.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose that were a main thing that everybody were after, though, weren't it? Meat, I suppose, because you couldn't grow that yourself, could you? Whereas people could grow vegetables and things.
But they're pretty stiff on everything. You've just sort of got to do a lot of balancing about. Only so much fat, only so much sugar, only so much tea,
Yeah,
and everything, and you've got to manage on that.
yeah, yeah. How's my tape going? It's still moving around. Let's have a look at these photos actually. It's got a lot of photos, hasn't it? Have you got? Do you want to have a look at any of your old photos actually? Have you got your older ones? Do you want to ever just talk about any of those while you're on tape? Any old ones that you've got first of all, perhaps? I can't remember what you showed. You showed me a few, didn't you? But I can't remember what you've got there.
Well, that's my mother's wedding that now. Don't think that's any interest to these a minute. Have you sorted that out, though?
No,
Which is-
because I thought too much crinkles. It won't say anywhere.
Yeah, we don't. That's an old school photo, isn't it? We don't know who's on that one.
There, but
Or have you not got your specs?
Can't see any likeness to anybody.
That's one respect. Look over there.
Yeah.
Can't.
It is
I don't know anybody on there.
that is an old one though, isn't it? That.
Yeah.
Well,
That looks more likely to be
it'll be
your dad's and your
it'll be
granddad's, isn't
your
it?
Uncle Tom. It'll be your Uncle Tom or your...
And my mother. That's
No, it's all boys.
Oh,
It'll
right.
be
boys,
your
oh.
Uncle Tom or your Uncle Reg, and I can't see any likeness to either of them.
No. What sort of early 20th century? What 1900s you're looking at? Or that?
Yes, I could imagine so.
So what is it? This document again? Then just want to tell us. What
it's
it is?
indenture. And that will be when the one I can't find is about the sale of property by Earl members of his
Right.
properties in various parts
That's
of
a Beighton.
Beighton, etc.
What date is it then? That 19. Is it 1914?
109 something there. What's it say? 100?
Right, Honourable Charlie Williams, somebody or other. It says here.
Yeah, but that's a date though. Mine
Oh, is it?
something
Can't read it. That looks like a number.
1914 that,
Looks
doesn't
like
it?
it, yeah. Kind
But that is High Street,
yeah.
Church Lane, and that piece of land there is
That says West Street on there, doesn't it? Yeah. West Street
Yeah,
there.
but it's called West Street then.
Oh, hang on
up
a
to
minute.
there.
That's confusing me now.
That's
I didn't
High
know that.
Street there.
Oh, I see what you mean. Right.
And
Oh, right. That
that's
was still called
Lane.
West Street.
That's
Oh,
Church Lane,
yeah.
and that is land
Right.
that they bought.
That's what they bought, is it?
That shop, you see.
Hmm. So that we all land.
So my granddad bought that bit
Oh,
of
I
land.
see. And he bought it
belonged
from.
to the shop.
Right. Oh.
Has anybody told you that Queen's Road wasn't called Queen's Road?
No.
It was called, I think it's Station Road on the original maps.
Is it?
I've got somewhere when I can find it.
Yeah.
I've got all the original names of roads,
Hmm.
etc.
Right.
I've got all the field numbers
Have you?
and names.
Because a lot of them had names, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a field on Eckington Road going towards halfway.
Hmm.
Well, if you remember when on Eckington Road, it went into a dip, didn't it, originally, before they built that new piece.
Hmm.
Well, before you went into that dip, there was a road up to Waterthorpe Farm, wasn't there?
Hmm.
Well, one of those fields just there was called the Gorka Field.
Hmm.
And the Gorka Field was where there was a huge tree with strong branches where they used to hang people on for pinching a chicken.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit creepy, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's
That's right, yeah.
that's how it was. And
Really?
it was called the Gorka Field. That's it. Gauker, I think it is.
Right.
Well,
All these old names have all gone, haven't they?
yeah,
It's-
and in olden days, if any animals strayed,
yeah.
they used to take them to a place which is called the Pinfold. And the Pinfold for Beighton was when you're going up, past the vicarage, on your left-hand side is those quarries. And it was that first little quarry on your left-hand side was the Pinfold.
Right. Oh.
So if there was a stray cattle, they took them into that.
Hmm.
And because there was a gate on. But
Hmm.
they put them there. And then they had to see, I think it was the clerk of the council, and
Oh,
paying
yeah. Fetch 'em back.
tuppence a tramps, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't much,
No.
to get the cattle back. And I think the person who found it was rewarded with money.
Interesting system, that,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
And that little quarry, that you can remember that being a working quarry then? Yeah, can
No,
you? Was it?
not really, not just there, no.
No.
I remember owls being in those crevices
Oh, yeah.
years ago. There were a lot of owls that used to go up have a walk on at night and watch
Really?
owls going out at owls with trikes
Yeah.
in that quarry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was before I went into forces, I was in a warden, warden like there used to be
Home guard.
home
Do you
guard
mean?
thing, but there used to be street wardens.
All right.
And,
What did they have to do then?
well, if anything dropped, you know, they were responsible for sort of helping people out and all that type of thing, and first aid and everything. We used to have first aid courses and all that.
They're aid wardens you're talking about.
We were wardens before you went in. I was a warden before I went in forces, and they dropped 9 bombs.
Mm.
It was back at Western Chapel. Used to be down South Green. They dropped one just at the back of that, and where those poultry was, and we used to Walter's Field. You remember that? Right way up. One dropped at Midlet V at Eckington Road and top of West Street, and when others went over back at Manor Farm and finished up in the School Road. And there was a lad called Jeff Amos on one of those school roads, and he was the only one that had a casualty.
Really?
In fact, the only casualty we had, it was him.
Only what, all through war?
No, I'm not,
Oh,
not
that
particular
time.
lot.
Right.
But I've always said, and I believe it, that they never dropped 9. They always used to drop even numbers, either 8 or a 10. And where that little quarry is where Binford used to be, there was a stock tap in the middle of it. And side of that, there was a hole. And when Mr. Fee and what other one? Mr. Pilkington used to be roadmen. They used to keep putting barrels full of oil, asphalt in that hole, and it used to keep sinking down. And I bet anything, there's
You
an
still think there's
unexploded bomb there, and I've told people and they just don't believe me.
really?
But I was in Royal Engineers when I was in Army, and I know a little bit about it. I'm positive. If the rock face, you see, was suitable, it'd slide down.
You think it might be still there now then?
There's one thing, if it's still there now, I don't think it'll explode.
But they've built a house on there, haven't they now? There's a new house
Yeah,
on that
back
bit.
of it,
That's
yeah.
what you mean, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't think it'll explode now.
No. So we hope not. So you were, when war broke out then, can you tell us a bit about wartime in Beighton then? How did it affect you and Beighton generally?
Well,
do you think? You said you were in street warden. You were street warden first.
I joined Warden's service,
Yeah.
and
One thing the wardens did was tell folks if they were showing a light.
yeah,
If there was
Showing a
any
light,
light
right.
showing in the cracks of a curtain,
get that light out.
get that light on.
But we used to, there was 4 Warden's posts, as they call them, in Beighton. And I can tell you 3, but I can't tell you what the 4th one was. One was where the recreation ground is, you know that stand, underneath that was one. That was G15, I think it was. And one was at the back of our shop, in what used to be Old Cow House. That was G16. They were called G16 numbers. And there was one when you went up Southall Green, where Patricia lived, straight opposite it, in that one of them buildings there. But I can't remember where the 4th one was.
And what were these for then?
Well,
Is that where you were stationed?
if you were not on night shift or anything like that, as soon as sirens went, you had to go and,
Oh,
if you
I see.
could, you had to go and report there. And then from then on, you know, various things that crop up, you know.
And were there much happening in Beighton? Were there many bombs dropped on it?
Oh,
You
yeah,
mentioned these
yeah.
9.
There were
Well,
9. There were 9 on that particular night.
Were they split?
There was 2
Sorry.
on Woodhouse Lane, where I don't really know where Mary Froggatt lived. Well, next bit out, there were 2 dropped just there, and there was some landmines dropped in. One dropped in river, and one dropped down, because when they opened Castor to put what they call it park as it is now, when they opened Castor to put that in, they found these 2 landmines in Buttermilk River and that. In fact, when they blew one on a Saturday afternoon, it blew some slates and tiles off our and they come to trace it, didn't they? And it came between school and those houses, and they could see where it had come, and it had blown some slates and tar through, and because it got compensation, because they said if anybody that got any damage, we should get compensation.
Because they weren't allowed to light the street lamps at night. It was completely black when you went out. You could take a torch with 3 layers of tissue paper over it and keep it pointed down.
Well, that's all.
If you flashed it up in the air, you could get copped.
Oh, on your vehicle, you had a black mask over your light, and it just shut it down in front of you. So it wasn't a beam like they are now, you know, nothing like that.
So you had to check all that sort of thing when you were in the street. Can you remember anything about that accident that happened on railway?
I was in the army.
That were forced.
And they always thought that somebody had done that on purpose, because there was some iron, I don't know if it was rails or what, in one of the trucks, and one of the rails had been pushed over, so when train came past it caught it, and there were so many killed there.
But you weren't in Beighton then?
I was in army then.
So when did you join up then?
41. I've got my papers somewhere. About July, August, something like that.
Were you called up then?
Yeah, 41.
And had any of your brothers already gone in army then?
My brother next to me, he went down pit.
Did he?
And became a manager down eventually.
Did he?
They were exempt.
And my other brother, he went in the army, he was in the pay corps, but he never went out of this course. And then he was manager at Cookums.
Oh, was it?
When he came out, he went to night school and he got through to be manager at Cookums.
Pick this out because that's the slaughterhouse, that part there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we're just looking at this photo at your butcher's. Yeah.
There was a door there that used to come into the street. And in 1930s, they made us brick it all up so that we couldn't come into the street.
Why was that then? Don't know.
Well, it's supposed to be hygiene and that, but I think it was so people couldn't see us.
Right. Oh, probably. Nobody'd want to see it, would they? No. So you joined up then, 1941.
Yeah.
And
I went to Ossett. I was at Ossett for.
Ossett.
Oh, Ossett in
Is
Yorkshire.
that training line?
Near Wakefield, yeah. Then I passed out as a cook.
Catering. What?
Catering.
You joined catering. Why did you join that then?
You didn't have. You hadn't chance to join whatever you wanted. You were.
They put you in
told
that, did they?
What you were going in.
But that must have been
signals when I first went up.
Oh yeah.
For about 6 weeks, and
Came from the
you're
food
with a catering course. So then I went on a course, passed with, as it happened, with flying colours because I knew trades, you see.
Well.
And came home on my 13th week. After 13 weeks, you're allowed to come home, you see. So I came home, and when I came home, they said, when you come back, you'll have your posting to wherever you're going to go, you see.
Right.
So when I got back, notice on the notice board was the lads that had been on this catering course with me now. There were 4 of us posted to Iceland.
Iceland?
And I says to the lads, I says, oh, we're all right, we're going together, like, you know, we've been pals and we're going together. And catering officer sent for us. And he said, young lads, he said, do you want to go to Iceland? Oh, I said, well, it might be better than some places, sort of thing. And he says, you're not going, he says, I'm going to keep you here. He says, we're short of staff here, I'm going to keep you. So I said, oh, when shall we know? He said, oh, you'll know in the next few days. And we did, and we kept us at Ossett.
Oh, right.
So I stayed at Ossett for some months. And then they posted me down. Because in between time, they came back from France, you know, from Dunkirk. They were all coming back. So some of them were short of various people. Like, so if they were short of a cook, I was one that went down to replace somebody who either got killed or whatever in Dunkirk, like you see. So I ended up at Canterbury. And then I was with them, the 260 engineers. I was with them then, right up to getting wounded. I got wounded actually about a month after war finished.
Did you?
Mm.
Where was that then? In France?
In Germany.
Oh, in Germany.
Because they were picking up all the mines, bombs, anything that was explosive, and taking them and putting them in a wood. And at 4 o'clock every day, they were blowing it up, you see. Of course, they never told me that we were getting thinner and thinner and thinner, so that eventually it came, exploded like it came through, and blew me up on, and I fell down on a petrol stove, and that caught fire. And the luck would have it, there were one of the lads there with a towel, and he wrapped it round me, put fire out, took me to hospital, and eventually I ended up in Royal Hospital at Sheffield. I was one of the lucky ones that came, and I was there. I was in and out of hospital for over 6 months, and then I was posted to Halifax then, and then I was in Halifax. They wanted to keep me there because they were short of cooks, and they took me into officer's mess, and I was cooking it in officer's mess, and they wanted me to stop there, but I was moved to Catterick Camp, and when I got to Catterick Camp, I was posted there to officer's mess at Catterick Camp. They're cooking for 1,000.
Wow.
No, it was all interesting.
How long did you do that for then?
Then?
How long did you do that?
Came out in what, 46, 47, something like that.
Oh, a couple of years after the war then.
Yeah.
Is that because they won't let you go, or did you want to stay?
No, they wanted me to stop in.
Oh, right.
They wanted me to stop in. They wanted me to stop in and give me £13 a week.
They didn't
And
mob
that was a
everybody
lot of
straight
money.
away. It was
No, I suppose some people.
It was a
carried
lot of
on
money
bit
then, £13
stages.
a week,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I've had enough, I'm going home. So
Right.
I came home on the Saturday, got the mob on Saturday. My leave, which was in late October,
Right.
and my leave expired 2 or 3 days before Christmas, because I'd done that much overseas, one thing or other. I got stacks of leave to come, you see. And my uncle, I went to church on a Sunday to thank God that I'd come home. And then Monday we were in the Derbyshire then, you see. So I had to go to Eckington one day for my ration card, and I don't know what else I had to go for, but I had to go to Chesterfield on another day, you see. And they phoned my mother, because I went back up home at Sappho Green. They phoned my mother to say that my uncle's elbow, something had gone wrong with it. Could I go down and help out?
Oh.
So I went down on the Monday and did some things, and then Tuesday allocation of meat came, so I had to go down and cut that up. And then Wednesday, they took him into hospital. So they phoned up Wednesday morning, will he come down and take over? So that
were it. So you didn't get much of a break then, did you again? So you were basically working there from what, 1940, what, 7 then?
46.
46,
Like 46, I
47.
think, 46.
Right. So did he come back and work in your shop though?
Yeah. Then when that Ackenthorpe estate was built, then we expanded and went up later. Ackenthorpe and got about 200 customers up there at one time.
Oh, right. You didn't have a shop up there though,
No,
did you?
there wasn't then. There is now.
No.
At the moment now.
What did you do? You meant you did your rounds?
Yeah.
Did you take meat up
Delivered,
there?
yeah,
then?
delivered
Right.
by van. Yeah.
So, whoops! Oh, watch it! It's splashing the stuff.
There,
You're right.
there's some maps I've got. I must try and find them.
Yeah.
Well, there's 40 wells in Beighton.
I mentioned, yeah, you've been something about these, right?
40 wells.
What are these wells?
Well, before water was piped into the village, you used to have to get water from your wells, you see. And there were lots of springs, you know. There must have been a lot of springs in Queen's Road area, because on your right hand side going up Queen's Road, all those little yards, you know, there's about 4 houses and a gentleman to go through in there. As you're going up the hill, On that side there, I think every yard had a well.
Mm.
So there must have been a lot of water or springs in that area.
It's interesting,
Must have
isn't
been.
it? Yeah.
Well, we had a stream running through our cellar, didn't we? at
When we were in
Southall
Southall Green,
there was like a little
there were little pipe
Little
came
gully.
through from one
And,
cellar to the other.
bottle,
Went
and it went right through all the cellars.
there. Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? All that spring water. When you came back from war then, where did you live then? Did you go back just living
I didn't
with
live
your
at
uncle in
Short for
Buxton?
no, I didn't live at Short. I lived at Southall Green at my mother's in bungalow.
All right.
Lived there until I got married. Oh, when we first got married, we lived on Woodhouse Lane. At
Oh, did you?
bungalow. Thorpe's, we used to be Thorpe's bungalow.
Which one was that?
43A, wasn't it, Sheila?
Where's that?
43A, on the left hand side.
Was you going up that corner one, you mean?
No, we went that corner, it's on.
Oh, I know what you mean. Right. And when did you get married then? When?
56.
56.
Oh, right, that's quite a bit after that, isn't it?
And then we only been married a short while, and we got this chance of this stone house, a row above my mother, fourth house up from my mother's in bungalow, and we moved up there. We only been there about, what, 5-6 years?
8.
Really? Long as that?
Yes.
And then we got, my uncle died, and my auntie got married again, so we went to the shop then. You
Oh, I
see,
see.
and then
Right.
back to the shop
Back
again.
round again.
Start all over again.
Yeah. Actually, there were some other interesting things around that area. There weren't around that round your shop, because there weren't there what were around about there. You know, there were blacksmiths, there were coal merchants. What
Oh
other
yeah,
blacksmiths?
yeah. I've got to. I keep saying I must find it. I've got a will of somebody, and I think it's called Shirt. This chap, and it's 2 sons, and it's 2 cart horses and drays, and he leaves 1 horse and 1 dray to one of the sons, and it said he must go over the what is it? It's something you got to go over. Anyway, in it says something about it's to take the salt which comes down the Humber, the Don, and the Rother and it's the name of an inland port. You know, like sink ports for old Folkestone, Dover and Deal and all that. It's like the name of an inland port. And he has to take the salt from there, over the Packhorse Bridge, that's it, to Salter Lane in Sheffield. And his other horse, and Dre, his other son, and he has to take it through Carter's Yard, and that's where Williams lived, you know, notice still up.
Yeah, and I
to Saltergate at Chesterfield.
Oh, right.
The Salter Lane in Sheffield starts with a P,
Yeah.
but that was put on afterwards, and
But that was put on
originally it
afterwards.
was Salter.
Right. But it
So-
actually mentions Carter's Yard in Beighton.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how come you got that? How come you got that then?
From Historical Society, when we used to be
Oh, I
it,
see.
when Frank Money and them were there.
Right.
Frank Money, Uncle Reg, Will France,
Yeah.
Olive
York. Mrs.
York.
Yeah.
There was about 8 to 10 regular people sort of thing.
Yeah.
We used to get all sorts of things.
Oh, yeah. That's some interesting old history, isn't there, really?
Well, you know, when you go down what we call 41 steps, it's about 39 now, isn't there? But when you go down 41 step, on your left hand side, as you go down that bridge, look at the side of that bridge when you go down, and there's 2 grooves in stonework, and that's where they dropped a door down to bank the Ockadike up.
Oh.
And on your left hand side, just before you get out in that field, there used to be a brick area, and that's where they used to put sheep in there to wash them in
Oh, really?
Ockadike.
Yeah. Is that where you did yours then? You used to watch
no,
them?
we didn't.
Oh, did not have sheep
enough.
on that
Didn't
bit?
have enough.
Alright.
But if you look there,
You can still see these grooves.
that's where they did it.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? And what about that blacksmith then round? Can you remember that round? Was there a blacksmith?
Blacksmith was at
Outside?
bottom of then what used to be Stones' building. Opposite where Ozzy Bennett is.
Oh, down there.
Used to be that little flat, you know, the house across there used to be
Little tiny
Stones'.
bungalow thing.
Yeah, but outside of that was with
Ah.
Blacksmiths.
Oh, I thought there were one up near
I
school.
don't think they run up at
You
Ireland.
know where
don't-
Ted Jacobs lives? Is that?
No, no, that was a farm. Little
Farm,
farm
was it?
that with
Ah.
Ted Jacobs lived. Just past where Ted Jacobs lived, there was 2 little stone cottages with a passageway. And then when you went on Carter's Yard, there was 2 houses on the left hand, and Jimmy Stones lived in there, he was caretaker at school. And then on your right hand side there were 2 or 3 more little cottages. And now this passageway from which is now Tinker through to the other side, it was lime washed. And there were, I think, out one of the 2 or 3 little pieces of stonework that stuck out, and they used to put candles on that, and that white little pathway through, it was like Blackpool illuminations. It was lovely white, you know, you could see ever so well, and that was where the people used to walk from.
Oh, right. Yeah. I can remember a big stone archway there.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that was something to do with that farm then?
That was a
Correct.
farm though, yeah.
I always thought that was
Yeah.
a blacksmith. I must have been wrong. And what about Beecher's, the Beecher's house? Can you tell me anything about that? 'Cause
Beecher's,
that was a lovely
yeah,
old house. I
yeah.
used to go there when I was young.
Yeah, the library took over
Yeah.
what used to be part of the building, didn't they?
But the family that originally lived in that house.
First one I remember being there was Dr. Fordyce,
Right.
and then after him, I think Dr. Bradley went it.
I don't know. So it was a doctor's for a long time.
Doctors for a long
Going
time.
back, was it?
There was a big lawn at back of there,
Yeah.
and when Dr. Bradley was there, he had a daughter called Betty, and she was very well up in, I think it was NSPCC and various organisations like that, and they used to have a garden party every summer on that lawn. It was a beautiful lawn, and I remember various things, but I remember Grandad used to give him a pig, a little, you know, small pig, a week-old pig, for a prize, and they used to have a wooden board with a hole in with the ordinary bowls, and they used to measure it about 8 or 9 yards back from bowl, you see, and you threw 3 bowls, and if they went through, well then your name would be put on the list for 3 out, if you got 3 bowls. Then later on at night, you bowl off, what they used to bowl off who got most bowls through, and then they'd win pig, you see. But that was...
Was this pig alive or dead?
oh yes, no, it was alive.
Oh, alive.
Not even for a live pig. I mean,
Oh, right.
in them days, people kept pigs, you see.
I see what you mean.
So, I mean, that was all right, you know.
Yeah.
But it was lovely lawn, and,
Yeah.
and that.
It had a massive orchard, didn't it?
Pardon?
It had a big orchard at back of there
Yeah,
as well. I
yeah,
remember.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was nice.
And what else were further? Oh, what about Cumberland's Head then? Pub? Did you used
Cumberland's
to use?
Head,
Yeah.
Mrs. John had that,
Mm.
and then she had a daughter. Eventually she went to live at, when Mrs. John passed away, she went to live at Freshfield. But she used to get off at bus at night, and when I was asleep upstairs, she used to say, oh, Julia's just got off at bus, because she had a little bit of a stud or something underneath it. You could But Mrs. John, Mrs. John, she was kept a good house, as they used to call it. But she, we had a chap called, Teddy Leonard's. You've heard of Leonard's in Village, haven't you? Well, Teddy lived in Allen Road, and he used to come with his scythe, because in them days we used to what they call open a field out. They used to cut about 3 yards round the field for horses to go round. You see, now they don't just go straight in with tractor. Well, then they used to cut it right way around for horses to get in, and he'd go what you call open the field out, and then he'd come back to the shop and say, shout for me from the farmyard. If 9 case I had 10 or up there, and he'd shout, Tom, go and tell your granddad I've opened such and such a field now. Alright, now you know what to do, go round to your grandma now. And he used to give me sixpence. And I used to go down to my grandma. I say, Grandma, Mr. Lender's up in the yard. Give me a jug. And I used to go down to Mrs. John's. And he used to get half a pint of beer. It used to be 5, 6 Woodbines, 5 in a packet, box of matches, and 8 change.
You would keep opening them?
Well,
Or did you have to
I
keep
wasn't allowed to.
No.
Imagine it.
Yeah.
Half a pint of beer, box of matches and 5 cigarettes for 5 pence.
Did you used to go through that little thing and knock on that? Because it always used to have a little tiny window there.
Used to have
in that
the window
cupboard,
in front.
I remember.
Yeah.
That, I bet that had been there a long time.
Yeah.
Even.
Because you goes left and right, couldn't you, into each room.
But I always remember you used to have that little window, you used to lift that
Yeah,
thing up, you used to
yeah,
knock on
yeah,
that.
Yeah. Then there was Collier's Row behind it.
Collier's
wasn't there?
Row, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was that? I don't remember that. No.
And the Collier's Row about 6 or 8 properties in it.
They've all
Collier's
gone?
Row. It's gone now.
Yeah. That was at
I
the back.
I remember one of the chaps that lived in Collier's Row. I'll give his name and I'm not going to.
No.
He came on leave and he wasn't supposed to be on leave, was he? And army came for him, and police, to get him. And he went upstairs and there was about 3 or 4 foot between Walk, Cumberland and his house. And he jumped across, ran across and went in, church was open and he went into church. And of course he said, you can't get me out of here, which, I mean, church, if they get in, it's a place of sanctuary, see, so he was right in what he said. So Vic had to come down and persuade him to come out of church and go back to his own age.
And did he?
I think he did eventually.
Oh, that's a good story, that one. Yeah.
But he wasn't bothered, he wasn't going to go back.
No.
He went back.
And what about that little cobbler's across the road? Was that been there for years? I mean, as it used to be, I mean, I can remember it in the 1960s and that.
Well, Will France was that, wasn't it?
Had it always been a cobbler's?
No.
Oh, no, I don't mean Rantis, I mean further down. A bit further down?
Further down
Yeah,
was
cobblers.
where Williams is. Where Williams is.
No, a bit further down than that.
Wadsworth.
I went to Cobblers and then...
Oh, was it not? I thought it might have. What did
I can't remember what it was first time
Just
I
perhaps
remember
just
it.
a house then?
No. Mr. Money below, he was grocer down there.
Oh, right.
Brothers,
Yeah.
where plumbers took over, didn't they?
Hmm.
That was grocer's shop
Right.
for a long, long time.
Right.
But
Then there were Williams.
you know where bank used to be?
Yeah.
You know that there was a side at bank where
Oh,
that was
Mr.
the room
Rance.
where it used to be.
Mm.
It was just a little room, not as big as this.
Mm.
And then they took other parts of the, didn't they, bank?
Yeah.
Because when you remember, was it Woody Whistles?
I can't remember. There used to
It was Drapers, then
yeah,
Pickering,
like
then
a haberdasher. Oh, Pickering.
Pickering's had it, didn't
Mrs. Pickering, yeah.
they? Yeah. But the one below
Mm.
was what they called Sadler Mansions.
Right.
And she used to sell leather stuff, saddles and
Oh, yeah.
belts and all stuff for horses, and you could buy brushes to brush horses and all that sort of thing.
Right.
But they called her Sadler Banks because she had all this stuff up.
Mm.
I can't remember a lot about it, but it
No.
looked, you know. Then across the road, the old post office where Mr. Hall used to be, and
Yeah.
Lowe's,
Yeah.
them two.
They were there.
Yeah.
They were there a long time back,
Yeah,
were they?
yeah.
And Mr. Rance.
Mr. Rance.
Did he have a shop there a long time?
Oh, he had it a long time, no. He might have had it 20 years though.
Oh,
Definitely
not
seen.
before then? No.
Um,
What was that before it was Mr. Rance's shop then?
that was Shoes shop at one time.
Shoes?
It's Shoes at one time, yeah.
Oh.
Garberts.
Oh, right.
That was Shoes and various things.
Hmm.
And of course Wilkinson's actually grocer's shop.
Oh, Wilkinson's, I can remember them.
And Wilkinson's built some houses up School Road.
Mr. Wilkinson who had that shop?
Yeah,
Used to wear that white coat?
yeah, he built some houses up there.
Did he?
Trying to think. He built Malinda's and Staniforth next door, but built them too.
It was.
They built some more up there.
Oh,
But
You'll
Turner's,
not remember Mr. Wilkinson because I can't.
can't I?
It was Hardwick.
Oh,
Molly,
yeah.
Yeah.
Molly,
Molly
daughter.
Right.
It
But-
was Molly that was at Wilkinson before she was married.
Yeah.
Right. Hardwicks, I think. I
Yeah.
remember.
But Turner's builders on
Yeah.
Essington Road, they built most of those houses.
Right.
In fact, when they started building them, my granddad said, when you go out on bike up the school road, if you get any of those new houses,
Yeah.
he says, providing they're still coming in 6 months' time, I'll give you 10 pence each one, or a shilling or something.
Oh,
like
new customers, I suppose.
that.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I got customers, but I never got money.
So new houses? You mean the semis on the other side?
All that right inside.
What about them? What ones where I live then?
Well,
18
80 houses
houses.
up before then.
Yeah.
They
What were
were-
they there for then? Can you remember? Do you know?
I don't know.
No.
Don't
I've
know.
nobody's ever told me what they were there for because I think they were built 1904.
I
I don't know
whether-
why they were
wh-
there.
Why they were built particularly.
Whether they were farm cottages or what,
I
really.
don't think so. There used to be a tennis court up there, you know.
Oh, what's there?
Tennis court.
Did they?
Yeah. Where are you next to End?
We're right next to it.
And this Thorpe next to you, it's now
Mm.
Smith's, isn't it?
On its house on its own, yeah.
Mary Thorpe.
Yeah, yeah,
She was.
yeah.
She got married to what do you call it?
Mm.
But across the road from that,
Yeah.
where those houses end,
Mm.
used to be a tennis court there.
Oh, did they?
Mm.
So where do you live then? Up
School Road.
At the
Was it
bottom?
School Road?
18 houses,
18
no,
houses.
seven.
The 18th.
As it's called. I don't know why, but they always call it
What it?
18
I know
houses.
where the Stones used to have your house.
Stoneses. Oh, no, I can remember Mr. Stones. Lovely man. He used to work at... Well, he'd worked at Pitt. When we
Yeah.
moved in there in 1984 and he still lived there next but one. He was next but one. There was an
Yeah.
older chap who just died, I think, when we moved in
Fuchs.
1980s. Might have been... So that one directly next to us were empty.
Bridgewaters
Mr.
used to live at
Mr.
End.
I used to go to the Balances up there. You remember Mr. Balance? Mr.
Cloverbridge, Balance.
No.
I used to do a bit of work for them.
Dolly still lives on there, but I don't know.
Oh.
Dolly and Len...
I
I can't remember the second name now, but you probably know them.
Yeah,
Because she's
yeah.
about oldest resident, I think, on our bit now.
Bayliss.
yeah. Mrs. Bayliss.
Bailey.
Bayliss.
Mrs. Bayliss.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
She's probably the one that's been there longest on our little
Yeah,
patch,
yeah.
but I don't know.
She's still there.
She's still there.
Yeah, well, remember me too, will you?
I will, yeah. Yeah. But we've still got our pigsty, as I say. So.
Yeah, what about you?
But you were saying about everybody having pigs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting, that,
Well,
isn't it?
we had pigsties when we first moved into the shop. It was all old as it was,
Yeah.
and we wanted to sort of modernise it a bit and take the pigsties down.
Mm.
But we found out that if you improved your property, your rates went up.
Oh, that's true. It did then, didn't it?
So we didn't dare take anything down. We
No.
left it as it was because
No.
the rates were high enough to start with.
In fact, I've never moved them an hour. I don't know. I don't want to wear you out completely, but should we just have a look through all these quick photos because you've got more of that and just talk about anything that you want to mention? Then, because I shall come back, you see, I can always come back and we can, for anything else you want to tell me.
There's not a lot I can tell you about that.
I don't know.
Well,
there's
never
something-
look.
what about these? Because you were looking at
Never
some
look.
before, they look quite interesting to me, to be honest. These older ones. Were they anything
Those that my daughter did a display of them because when he
Oh, tell us about this car.
when he had his 80th birthday,
I know, they're lovely, aren't they?
he had them
Just this one here, just tell me about this then, because
Yeah.
you haven't mentioned your car, which is quite impressive, isn't it?
Have you got any photographs of? I've got them somewhere. Of the soldiers coming back from Africa area. What was that?
Oh, you mean
aliens.
Pardon?
Aliens, I said.
no,
No,
North Africa?
North Africa.
You mean,
what was it now?
Yeah,
And they're coming up High Street, and it's cobbled in those days,
yeah,
and they're on bikes.
really.
And there's quite a few people all.
And why
round
were
Beighton
they all
that-
coming through
They were
Beighton
coming
then?
back from. They were coming back from war.
Were they?
You see, but in those days they'd probably come back on the railway, wouldn't they? You see, then they'd
Yeah.
cycle
All the way through various
Yeah.
villages.
Yeah, but where were
Yeah.
they going to?
Home. They're coming home.
Just coming
from
home.
the
They all
war.
lived in Beighton.
Oh, Beighton area.
Eckington and Spurs and places, yeah. Blimey. You've got a photograph of that, that'd be
Yeah.
good, yeah.
There was a railway station in Beighton before there was in Sheffield.
Really? Yeah.
Because the old, there was LNER, LMS, came up through Beighton and went through to Doncaster. And that went up north on the old maps. And then the train to Sheffield came from Doncaster to Sheffield.
Right.
And that was the first time that Sheffield had a railway station.
Right.
But the
was still in
original one,
Beighton
going
then
back
first.
donkey's years, is that Beighton had the first railway station before Sheffield.
Ah, well. That's interesting, isn't it?
This car,
Oh, just tell us about that car, because you've got a photograph here, yeah.
when I got wounded,
So that's you, and how old were you there then?
should be what? Should be about 23 or 4 there.
Right.
When I got wounded,
Yeah.
I was in Royal Hospital at Sheffield for so long, and I got a week's sick leave,
Yeah.
and I was allowed to come home, and with some relatives at Doncaster, and he said, "Oh, come over here for a few days." So I don't know when I went by bus or train or what, but we went to Doncaster to stop with him for 2 or 3 days. And I was having a walk round. I just left my crutches off, you see, and I was walking round, and I went by the side of what is now the Royal Hospital. It's infirmary, I think they call it, Doncaster Infirmary. Anyway, I saw this car with for sale on it, and I went into hospital grounds, and I saw something. I said, "Can you tell me whose that car is in hospital ground?" He says, I said, "One of the lads that's been in the military ward. They closed that military ward up, so he's a nurse sort of thing. So he's going to be posted down south, and he doesn't want to take car with him." So I said, "What's he want for it?" And he says, £40. So I says, "Get him to come and I'll have a word with him, you see." So he came, and he said, "What you want?" I said, "What to do about his car?" So I says, "Can I take it for a run round hospital ground, see if it's all right?" So I went for a run round hospital ground. He came back and I said, "Its brakes is not much good," you know. And I said, "Have you adjusted them?" He says, "I don't know what to do." I said, "Oh." So I got them underneath, and it's a Jowett, and there were rod brakes, and on the end of the rod there was a wing nut. You just turned it until you couldn't turn the wheel round, and it would fall on. And then you used to turn it back a couple of threads, so you got a bit of play, you see. Well, they're like anchors when you put them on. Anyway, I did all this. And I said, "Go on." I thought, "All right." So I phoned my dad up, and he came over the next day, I think by train or bus, and brought me an insurance certificate. And I drove it back. And when I got back, there's a starting handle there,
Oh, yeah.
and it was horizontal opposed pistons and that, not like it is now.
No.
And they were the sides were resting, you know, on 2 little clamps to each side with a rubber buffer, and they went on.
Oh.
I tell you, when only held on back.
Look, he'd not fell out then.
And I got it home like that, and it was a good little car. Yeah,
Had it a while.
I did it well.
Let's just have a quick look at anything else you want to say about these, because then I'll go then. I'll leave you to it then. I'll come back perhaps next
That's
week.
my mother.
Oh, that's your mother. That's
Mum
a
and
lovely
Dad.
photo.
That's
of your
probably
mum.
3 thoughts.
Where's
there.
that then?
Probably
And that's
3
you?
thoughts. But that's me. That's my mother brother.
Yeah, that's a lovely photo, isn't it? So you must have had some holidays if you
Yes.
when you were little then.
Well, we used to go to Cleethorpes
Cleethorpes,
now and again
yeah.
because he had a 3-wheeler, my dad.
Did it?
Yeah, a little Trojan, as they call them.
All right.
2 wheels up front and one at back. And we used to go out now and
So
again.
that must have been in 20s when he had a 3-wheeler.
Yeah,
Oh, it must
yeah.
have been, yeah.
Well, that's my mother.
Yeah,
That's me. My next brother,
yeah.
and my next brother, and that's my sister.
Mm.
And that's our street. That's found that.
Mm.
It's found. It's Carhouse window that.
Is it? Right. Yeah, they're good, aren't they, these? This must be
That's a bucket shop.
back at your shop,
Yeah.
yeah.
What
Anything
this
on
is-
these? Let's have a look on here. That's you when you were in,
Yeah,
just joined
yeah,
up, and you were in
yeah.
your 20s. Where is this one? Because you've got, is
that's,
that you?
That's my mother's bungalow there, and this is this.
That's your mother's bungalow.
Yeah.
That's not a bungalow, is it?
Oops.
Well, then, look, no, bungalows round
No.
there.
Oh, I
Bungalows
see.
round there.
What's
That's
that big house?
that's
That's across the road, isn't
Laurel's.
it? The Laurel.
Oh, this Laurel.
Yeah.
That's not there anymore then, it's
No.
gone, isn't it?
That's Laurel's.
Yeah. And you said that used to be mine manager?
Yeah,
you said?
yeah,
Right.
yeah. You can
Oh, this
you can
one's
probably see
interesting,
it back
isn't
there. You see.
That's an interesting photograph, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just stood outside. You said
Bungalow. That's bungalow,
again.
yeah.
Your
Down
mum's?
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's going down South Hill Green that way. You see.
Right.
That's going up South Hill Green.
I'm with you, yeah. And that's you, your dad,
And my brother.
and your brother, yeah.
Yeah.
What were your brother in then? What were you?
Fire service.
Oh, you're in fire service, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was across the road at Laurel's in those days.
What were?
Fire brigade.
Oh.
Emergency fire engine.
Oh, was there an emergency fire engine?
Yeah, get emergency fire engine. across there.
Really? Did they have any big fires in Beighton then?
Well, that was during wartime. So,
Oh, at wartime, I see what
Yeah,
you mean,
yeah.
right, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, they're good then.
I can't
Well-
really tell you much
There
about them.
didn't seem to be as many house fires in those days as there are now with chip pans and things. There
No,
seems to be a lot these days.
no, and it would have been there'd have been plenty of fires because everybody had a coal fire,
Yeah,
didn't they?
yeah,
there?
yeah.
Anything else? Do you want me to, shall we knock off now? Have you had enough?
Yeah. Well, when
You've
you
done
want,
well. If I come
whenever
back
it suits
again,
you.
and I'll come back again if you like. Then.
So
You can do.
so you better hear this before it goes out for circulation, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll do that. And what else? Have you done anything else on there that you got out? Let's have a look before you put them all away again. What other photographs? You had some old ones,
You
didn't you?
looked at these.
Have a quick look, see if there's anything else in there that you want to talk about while we've still got this. Oh, just tell us a little bit about one or two of these.
That's
look,
a
yeah.
wartime one.
Is it wartime? You think that?
That's wartime, and
So this is.
oh no, that's. I'm sure
Drowns
that is
is
Red Cross.
You think this is a Red Cross trip
well,
in
my
50s,
mother
is
and
it?
all them going on and
Yes, it is a red.
Outing.
It is a
On a
red cross.
course.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
McAllen's quarters, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because you said you were on there, didn't
yeah,
you?
and that's
Oh,
family plus ATS girls that were stationed up at Eckington Road camp.
ATS girl.
Yeah, they were camping on Eckington Road
Yeah.
during wartime.
Is that your mother?
Yes,
Right.
my dad's at Beighton.
Hmm.
That's my other brother, my sister. And I think that's my sister as well.
It is.
So these ATS girls, they were from
Oh,
all over the place. They weren't just from around here, were they?
No.
From all
We
over
were
the
just
place.
stationed up there. They used to make home from home at my mother's.
Did they?
Yeah,
They all used to go to your mother's.
that's how
They used to ask people in the wartime to
Oh, to
sort of invite
stay.
the forces in
Yeah.
if they were local.
Yeah, I suppose they were lodging, weren't they?
She-
really?
My mother used to go to church on a Sunday night
Yeah.
on her own and come back with about 4 or 5 of them.
Did she? She took people in then.
Mm.
I suppose everybody helped each other
Well,
out,
a
though,
lot of
didn't
people
they?
do the same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to invite them round for a couple, it'd
Hmm.
help.
Hmm. What else have you got here then? Just your various cuttings you've got.
Yeah, that's Michael Vickers.
Yeah.
It might be when he were inducted now.
Is it? This is-
yes, that's it. His induction. His last
Vicar Vickers, isn't it?
That's it.
Mm.
That's Mick Bishop.
Mm.
That's he was curate now. He's Archdeacon at Gloucester, isn't he? Here,
Is that?
Oh,
Jeff.
is he? Yeah,
All right.
something like that.
We went to see him He was
Yeah.
near Maidstone. He was near Maidstone.
Right.
We went to see him,
Mm.
and his wife had just been and got some raspberries, hadn't she, or strawberries. She'd been picking them.
Mm.
She got them back at the back boot of the car, and I crawled up behind and I said, "How are you today?" Something like that. And she says, "I know that voice." And then she turned around and she says, "Get off in there, and Jeff's just done a christening."
Oh,
We went
right.
in and he said, "Oh, that's my first church warden," which I was.
This is Jeff Sidaway,
Yeah.
who was a vicar.
Yeah.
Was vicar.
Well,
of
he was a
Beighton.
curate when he was at
He was a
Beighton.
curate at
Curate.
Beighton,
All
yeah.
right. And what else have we got here then? What's this one? Singing
Well,
for the Queen. Beighton male voice choir. Oh, were you in that then?
No,
Oh,
no, but there's a lot of Beighton people on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
You might know some of them.
and who other then?
There's John Smith there.
John Smith. I recognise various people. Yeah. Okay, what's that one? Oh, this is it.
When they rededicating the bells out.
Were they switched
They
off for a long
took
time? Did
'em
it not
down-
work for a
Took
long
them
time?
down and cleaned
Oh,
them, I
right.
think, and reyoung them.
And then they renewed them all, 1987. Nice little book, isn't it? All sorts
I
of
think
it. Yeah.
that one's your Uncle Tom.
Oh dear. Let's have a look.
I think so. I'm sure it's been pointed out to me, but Uncle Tom does.
What's this one then?
Possibly. That one.
Your Uncle Tom.
Possibly.
If it's your Uncle Tom, then how old is it this
Well,
time?
he got
He got
killed
killed
in,
in
he got
war.
killed
Oh, he
in
got
the First World
War.
War, 1916.
Right. 1916. Were you named after him then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My granddad was John Tom.
Right.
He was John Tom, and then I'm John Tom.
Ah. But you always call yourself Tom?
Mm. Well, so did the others, I think, didn't they?
That's in Beighton, is it then as well?
Yeah, yeah. That's it, Beighton
Ah.
School, that.
Yeah.
You know, the school for Beighton at one time was the Beighton Annex, I thought, was schoolhouses. When you
Oh,
went up,
right.
do you know where that was?
No.
You know when you went to, I don't know whether they're still there or not, when you go up Drake House Lane and go on the old road to
Yeah.
Staniforth,
Yeah.
there used to be some houses up that, and three houses
Oh,
I
they
think
did,
it
didn't
was.
they?
Well, that was a school at one time. At
Oh,
one
was
houses,
it?
it was a school,
Oh, right.
and that was the school between Beighton and.
Oh no, they've all
I
gone now,
recall.
haven't they now? Do you mean like where there used to be Fox's Farm? That
Yeah,
farm,
there
that
was
a funny
Fox's
name.
Farm, and then a bit further on there was Ling's Nurseries, weren't there?
Vaguely remember that. I remember Fox's Farm.
And then there were these stone
Oh,
cottages
right.
back,
And that was school.
and then after that there were two bungalows.
Right. And people used to go to school from Beighton before they built this other school.
Apparently,
there.
yeah,
Oh, right.
apparently, yeah.
That's a lovely photo, isn't it? That old one. Yeah. Right then. Can we fish it off now? Oh, you've done a fair bit there, haven't you? You've told us a few stories there, I think. And the ears have gone down.
Well,
What they'll do is
put it on.
cutting off. Put that on fire.
Do you want to take some of this then? Let me
Oh, go on then.
Let me have them back eventually.
Oh no, I shan't take them. No, you keep them. But if you do want to use them, they could always ask me.
You see,
So what we're looking at is just tell me what we've got then here. 3 photographs and what
you're
are
coming
them?
down off your road, aren't you?
From School
Straight up.
Road, yeah.
And this is old shop and buildings.
Oh, I see. You've got
Are you in
3
there?
all together.
Now
How it
then.
used to be, the butchers,
but-
Duckett's butchers. right.
Yeah. That part from there
Yeah.
is one.
Right.
That was another, and that was another. Now, after that was 3 parts.
3
I found
cottages.
this on something about 3. Then that was added, and that was added
Oh, I
to make
see.
it one long building. You
Right.
see?
So you only knew it as one long building though.
Yes.
So it had
But
been 3
it was
cottages added.
it was 5
Oh, fine.
So it's like, it's 2 more added in, so it'd make it 5, wouldn't it? Instead of 3, it
Right.
would make it 5.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
Now,
So, but how long had that actually been a shop then, that building? Do you know? It was a shop when your granddad moved
oh,
in.
yeah. Now, of course, that's a pedestrian crossing, isn't it? You know about, don't
Oh,
you?
that's still there. So they would, but you can
Yeah.
see there's a doorway
Yeah.
there on that one, isn't there? Yeah.
In, I was
Awesome.
born in that room there.
You were born in that one right at that
And then-
end, right?
That's bedroom there.
Yeah.
And back of that bedroom,
Mm.
some cupboards in the wall.
Yeah.
And also back at front room there,
Right.
there's cupboards in that room.
Yeah.
Now when you went up in the attic,
Mm.
there was a piece like that. You could get down behind these cupboards.
Oh.
And we
Wonder
thought
why.
it was a priest hole.
And what would that be for then? What's a
Well,
priest
when
hole?
when there were problems with priests and clergy and all that, they used to hide them, you know.
Alright.
And that was where he could have got in and hidden.
And how old do you think these are then? These cottages, originally.
Well, there was
What
a
state they go
stone
back to?
plate, there's stone marking on there.
Mm.
Now then, some said it was 13, some said it was 15 something, and so on
Oh,
and so
right.
on.
Oh, it's really old
Now
then.
somebody might have somewhere
Oh.
a photograph of that stone that was inlet in that wall. Now, when what was it now? Rosemary Richards, Vicar's wife, she
Oh,
was
yeah.
interested in all stuff,
Right.
and she went delving in about this property.
Right.
This is what she came up with.
Right. So this is when she looked into
This is
some
the
archives.
enclosure, the award, and the reference at Surrey Street. This
Right.
in 1796, and then the tenants of Lord Newark, who later became our members.
Right.
And you've all this here, if you can follow it.
And that's all.
And that piece
Oh, I see.
was at the back of the house,
Mm.
where you can see.
Oh, there were 3. I see. 3 houses. So.
And it tells you there how much they had to pay in rent or whatever.
Oh, right.
Can you understand it?
Garden. So there was
Now,
so
if
much.
you
You had
want
to pay
to
so
take-
much for your garden and so
If you want
much.
to take that and then let me have it back.
Survey.
It's survey planted in 1788.
Right, owned by Charles Beighton, later Earl members. So it was originally they were tenants of Lord Newark in 1796
Yeah.
then, and then he became
Well,
Earl
no,
members. But they had to pay so much to the vicar, so much and so much to him,
Tithe.
presumably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the total tithes and so on and
Oh,
so on.
wow, quarter of an acre. Don't mention farm buildings, just house buildings, yard.
No, it's
No.
only a farmyard, you see. So
Mm.
anyway, do you want to take that and let me have them back?
I think it's better if you keep them, and then if they want to, you have a look at them rather than take them.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
But they're interesting, aren't they? Though? I'll mention that you've got all that. Or she could copy it, couldn't she? I suppose?
Yeah,
She could
yeah,
photocopy
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Shall I do that? I'll copy it
Yeah.
and get you back then. That's great. That. I look, the photographs are good, aren't they? That's a good one.
Yeah.
So you were born in that end house then?
I was born. No, it was middle house. That was middle room. That one.
Middle room.
At the end of this house, I've got a photograph somewhere of the end taking coming up my street,
Mm.
and you can see in the wall
Yeah.
where original cottage would be.
Oh, I
Down
see.
below. You
Oh,
understand
right,
me?
Right, underneath. Yeah. Yeah.
The cellar,
Yeah.
which you can just see.
Oh, they had
the
cellars, did they?
Yeah. There's the cellar there. You
Right.
can just see the cover outside,
Mm.
and that was cut out of rock.
All right.
Mm.
Solid. Blimey. And did
That
you...
should still be there.
Yeah. 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 I didn't realise they were that old then. So you think they might be either 1300 or 1500? Well,
Yeah.
that is old, isn't it?
Yeah,
then?
yeah.
So I suppose it
It's
could have
one of
been.
the oldest properties in the village.
Is it? Right.
One on Ty Road, which used
Oh,
to be
yeah.
Robotham
That farm. Mm.
That's one
Is
as
it?
well. There's
Ah.
not one of the old properties.
Yeah.
And they said that there's underneath, you know, in olden days they used to dig tunnels from various places, and we wondered if that was a tunnel from that underneath ours to the churchyard for
Ah.
Vickery
Oh, right.
to come down in case of emergency. But there's also a tunnel from Cumberland Head
Oh right. Oh, I think I've heard of people
That
mention
goes through somewhere to the church somewhere.
Does it? What, from underneath in its
Yeah,
cellar or
yeah,
something?
yeah.
And why would vicars want to go in?
Well, it
these
was
tunnels,
doing
do you think?
some reformation or something
Were
when they were onto.
Going
Killing
back to the
people
time
off
when they had priest holes and things like that.
Yeah, I was just
that's
saying
what
they
I was
thought
just
there might have
saying.
been a priest hole in that in this cupboard. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Though.
What in? Yeah, but in our house, you mean?
Yeah, but Rosemary said it wasn't, didn't she?
Did she?
Rosemary.
Rosemary Richards. She came with that woman from Chesterfield.
That woman came from Chesterfield. She said no, it'd be 2 small houses with a passage between, and they blocked it up. You see.
But perhaps that was just still there then. What did you used to keep in your cellar then?
Well, originally, before we had any fridges,
Hmm.
we used to take the meat down in the cellar because it was cold down there, wasn't it?
Oh right.
Really cold.
Yeah. So you can remember when they used to keep all meat down there?
No, because my first memories, we used to take meat down there, but my first memories of
You used to do salt pork down there,
yeah.
didn't you? Some salt.
of the refrigeration department was when they had ammonia fridges.
And how did they work?
You see in a village, you ever seen going through a village, you've seen an oxygen vehicle go through with white frost on its pipes, and that's what it was like.
Oh.
And the pipes came through the wall and into a room sort of thing, which became a refrigerated room.
Is that what you did here then?
Yeah,
Did you have a
back.
refrigerated room?
Yeah, back. Yeah. Then, then when we took that out and put in when we were trying to think who it was, Frigidaire.
Oh yeah.
When they first invented the electric fridges it is today, that's when we changed it over and had this motor and everything.
When would that bit have been then?
1931 or 2.
Oh really? Well, that was quite early then. When they had a proper, they took this room out, this ammonia room out.
No, they left the room. But
They left the room, but they made it into
yeah.
electric line.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Well, that were early for electric fridge, weren't it? 1930s.
Yeah.
I bet there weren't many people had electric fridges then.
Because it was a big thing, you see.
Right.
Some of these photographs that I found the other night.
These are mostly family ones. That's a.
These are our kids playing.
Oh, right.
Do you remember Bay Square?
No, I don't know. Where's that then?
Just going up Drakehouse Lane on your left hand side, where all those houses are on the left hand side. But we're back of Welland Road. The back of Welland Road.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
there used to be a footpath through, and we used to go and
That used to be
kids.
called Bay Square.
Bay
didn't it?
Square.
No, I can't remember the name even.
Yeah.
Did you know Jill Barlow at school?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
Jill,
Jill
I remember
and
her
her mum
mum.
and her dad.
Yeah. Jill's mum was the secretary at school, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cynthia. That is a. You want to take that? That's a outing. I think that's Red Cross. Bernard McKellen on.
Who's on here then? Anybody else you recognise?
Oh yeah, quite a
Do
few.
you know them?
Quite a few. Quite a few.
Are you on here then?
That's your Bet We're
No,
in, isn't
no.
it?
Pass me a minute, specs you up there.
So this is Mr. McCallum's quarters, an early outing.
Yeah.
Looks like about 40s, that, doesn't
Do you
it?
remember Bernard?
I can't really, no. I can't remember him.
Well, that's Mrs. McCallum.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the lady. Mrs. Fanthorpe. You might be able to remember some of these better than me, Sheila, can you? Can you remember some of that? Now this, I've not.
that looks like an
I've
old
really got this because it's just the old vicarage from the back.
Oh, right,
From
old
the back.
vicarage, yeah.
From
Oh, at the back of it,
back of
yeah. I wonder when that is then. That looks like
That's about
50s,
1950s,
is it?
late 50s.
Yeah.
I think this was a WI outing when your Auntie Elsie was in it.
Alright.
And,
And they used to have quite a lot of things going off at the vicarage, did they then?
Oh,
what
yeah,
would, what
yeah,
would that
big-
have been? A party or something? Garden?
There was a
party?
beautiful lawn there,
Right.
and they used to have all sorts of things on it. You know, garden parties and all sorts of things.
Yeah, that looks like a summer thing.
Now, this is not much help really, but that's opposite where my mother and Pat then.
The two babies are Linda
Oh,
And
right.
this is the
the two babies are Linda and Patricia.
yeah,
Oh,
but
right.
across there
Yeah.
is where the old what did they call it now? Up Southall Green, Sheila. What do they call it?
This?
Laurels.
Ah, I can't remember
That's
that
it,
house
Laurels.
at all.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I think
Oh, no, I remember.
my mother.
That's your
my
mother?
Yeah.
No, I remember her. Yeah.
Yeah. There's another one here. This.
And Mrs. Staniforth, I remember.
Yeah.
This
That's-
is Mrs. Staniforth, then. What?
That's
your sister, is it?
Sister-in-law.
Your sister-in-law,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
That's when Vicky married. He was curate then. He's
Oh, right.
He's
yeah.
now something in Gloucester. What is he? Is it Dean of Gloucester? Is it Dean of Gloucester?
Oh, I don't
Oh, is
know.
that?
Yeah, yeah,
He went
yeah.
high up in the church then,
Yeah.
did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you still
We-
keep in touch with him?
Well,
No.
we haven't
Oh,
talked
do you
for
not
him
know
for
him?
quite a while
Right.
now.
What else?
We
I
just-
just got them because I thought they might
No,
be.
they're interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. So this is the Laurels, and that
Yeah.
you said used to be the miners' managers, was
Manager.
it?
Yeah.
Manager of
Pit.
Brookhouse.
Brookhouse Pit.
Mm.
Well,
That's gone though, isn't it? That house, that Laurels,
yeah.
is it?
Yeah. It's now Southall Close, isn't it? About 6 houses, isn't it?
Yeah.
Southall
Few-
Close.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah,
So
there
this
are a few,
floor.
aren't there?
I can remember talking about the Laurels. I don't remember ever seeing it. And we were married in '56.
Oh, I can't
so
remember
I
it.
can't.
No, I've seen
about the
old
Laurels.
pictures of it.
Did I tell you about the Beighton boundaries?
No, I've
Have you got any?
no, I've got a list of what we talked about, but you didn't mention that. So, bound. Yeah, you can talk
Beighton
about that.
boundaries
What was that about?
was the on River Rother.
Oh,
on
yeah.
that end,
Yeah.
this end, River Rother, and then it went short towards Woodhouse. There's a stream. Well, you know, can you remember when it dipped? When you went up to Woodhouse, there was a dip, wasn't there? Well, there's a stream there, and it goes right through to back of Acknethorpe,
Oh.
and then backside of Acknethorpe, it went across where almost in that dip where trams used to come down to,
Hmm.
and then it went back of Freshville, because Freshville wasn't there.
No.
Freshville in those days was Burley, called
Right.
Burley,
Right.
and there was only one property at Burley, and that's where the community centre is now.
Oh.
So when you come in Packingthorpe, and when you went up Occupation Lane, there's a little row of about 4 cottages on your left hand side.
Mm.
Then after that, there was nothing between there and Intake, except for
Oh,
that
right.
one farm on your left hand side.
And what was that farm?
I'm not sure whose it was now. It was either Rhodes or Woolly, something like that. One at Oak Farm, one at
Right.
Oak Names.
No.
And it went across then. This side of Ridgeway,
Hmm.
where Quarry Hill, where you go up Quarry Hill.
Yeah.
And it cut back, and then there's a stream where that garage used to be, or where it still is.
Hmm.
Remember, there's a quarry.
I know.
There's a
Master Moor, as they
Yes,
call it now,
yeah.
don't they, sort of.
there's some cottages there where there's a pit behind it,
Oh, is it?
and it cuts across there, and it comes down. That stream comes down, and it comes out again Glover's Mill.
Right. Yeah.
So if you can trace that stream up,
Hmm.
all that inside that was Beighton.
Oh, Beighton.
It was all
That's
Beighton.
massive, isn't
It
it?
was the largest parish in Beighton. Beighton was the largest parish in Derbyshire, because we were under Derbyshire in those days,
Yeah.
and it was classified as the largest parish in Derbyshire.
Blimey, it's
Because when I was
enormous.
church warden there, we went into all these sort of things.
Hmm.
And Hacknethorpe was church,
Mm.
was the daughter church at Beighton,
Oh.
and we had to supply the clergy to do Hacknethorpe and that. There's nothing at Freshville at all, you see.
No. So this is what you're going back to? What period then?
Went back before the war.
Before the war,
Well,
right?
Yeah. Because Staniforth Estate was built
Yeah.
When the East Coast floods were, when the
Oh yeah.
sea broke through and at Bridlington and places and Mablethorpe and all that sort of thing.
I don't know.
Because I was special constable at the time, so I know. And I was up there one night and the cement bags were blowing over the top. And that was when they were building it then.
Oh, so you can remember them building Ackensthorpe?
Oh yeah.
All that estate?
Yeah.
Did you used to have to walk right up there then on your...
No, we had van then.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What in...
We had about 200 customers up there at one bit.
Oh, for your
Sure.
butchers?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And was that when you were a special constable as well then?
Yeah.
Right, that were after war, wasn't it?
Yes, after the war,
I
yeah.
remember saying that. Oh, you used to go a long way then with that, didn't you?
Oh, we went all the way around, yeah. See, if people moved, they asked you to follow them, you know. Didn't mean-
Things that you did talk about, that's interesting, that about boundaries. But just to remind you what you were talking about last time, you really talked about when early days when you were young, and then what it were like in the butchers, working at the butchers, and talked a bit about wartime, taking meat round Beighton, feast days. You didn't say much about after the war though, so you got up to there really. But I tell you what would be interesting if you could say a bit more about how we used to keep meat and things, and do you know what I mean? In olden days, and what it was like, and the sort of system you had for chopping it up and slaughtering them and things like that. I think it's interesting all that. You didn't say much about that, but I know you. Yeah, like you were saying about.
That's slaughterhouse on there.
Yeah. In here.
No.
and what kind of meat or what you sold then that you don't get now, that sort of thing, you know, how it's changed, or how you saw it changed through
Well,
your sort of...
I don't think, in a way, it has changed.
Don't you?
The thing is, it's people, habits have changed. They don't have a Sunday dinner now, do they?
No, that's true.
And they don't come home and sit down to a meal at night, do they? They have little bits and off out, don't they? Well, in those days, we had to make our own entertainment. And person who would buy a joint Friday or Saturday and have it for Sunday roast, and all the family would be there, wouldn't they? But they don't do that now.
No, that's true. So I suppose
stuff
weekends were
or
busy
packet
then.
stuff now.
I suppose that'd be a busy time, wouldn't it, doing joints?
No, we were busy all the way through, because I mean, they'd be having stew and all that sort of thing in a week.
Right.
Not so much mince as what we do now. I mean, we hardly any mince in those days.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it?
And then the theatre, before it's that great garages now, at the bottom of Beighton,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
a picture palace,
Right.
but before then it was a theatre, and it had
Oh,
two
yeah.
shows.
Theatre?
Two shows.
Come out, so.
There was two shows. There were.
What, a proper theatre?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know they had a theatre.
Oh yeah.
Nobody ever mentioned that.
Say first house on a Saturday night was 6 o'clock, and
Yeah.
second house would be 8:15, something like that.
I never realised they were doing
And oh yeah, some interesting things about that. But we used to shut it Saturday night at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock? That's
And,
late, isn't it?
Yeah, we used to be open from 8 in the morning till 9 at night.
Oh,
In them days,
yeah.
before the war, that is.
Right, yeah.
And people used to sometimes go down to the first show and say, save me such and such a thing for when I come back. They'd pick it up when I came out of the theatre at night. I mean, we used to be busy sometime between 8 and 9 on a Saturday night.
That's mad, that, isn't it? I wonder if thought they were, you know.
Yeah,
That's
but that's how life was
It
in
used to
those
be,
days, you
yeah.
see. And well, there were some good acts came. There was one act came, they called himself Mr. Britain. And he was a strong man, of course. And one day, he used to come 2 or 3 times a year, but one time when he came, he had McCallum's coach on the bottom of Beighton, right where Manners Welfare is now, and that flat bit. And he had one of those things he put in his mouth, you know. And he pulled one of McCallum's coaches for so many yards on the bottom of Beighton. There were crowds there watching it.
Oh, right, that's good.
And then one day he had a 200-weight bag of sugar on the stage, and he said if anybody could lift it, they could have it. Well, I think most Stroke Week, there were people went down, oh, I can lift it. And eventually, Joe Molinari, little Joe, old man like, he went down, well, he was used to lifting it. And he just picked it up and they let him have it.
Oh, that's a good story, isn't it? Nobody's ever mentioned anything about that before, theatre. I didn't even know there were a theatre there. I bet there were some. Were there any other good ones you can remember then? That's a good one, isn't it? Strong, man.
Well, the theatre, there was Mrs. Holdsworth lived opposite where Money Shop used to be, on the bottom of Beighton.
Oh.
You know where Money Shop used to be?
No.
Well,
Which one?
it was a bit plumber, we weren't plumber. Yeah, plumber had it.
I can't remember. No.
But it's first building after Royal Oak coming up High Street.
Oh, yeah.
It used to be Musty Money's grocers at one bit.
Oh, right.
Straight opposite there was Mrs. Holdsworth, and she lived, I think, at top house in that row of 3.
Yeah.
And she used to set bookings for theatre and that. So when I went down on a Saturday morning and taking a meeting, I booked me 2 for tonight, Mrs. Holdsworth. You see, or 3, whatever we wanted.
Oh, right.
Because a gang was going with half a dozen, you know, and then she used to book them down, and then we used to pick tickets up when we got down there. But there was some. It was a good theatre, that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it always busy then?
Oh yeah, it was pretty busy.
Was it like a music hall? Would you say?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, it was very interesting.
Yeah.
I think Ruby should know a bit about that.
Ruby. Nobody's ever mentioned. People have often mentioned the cinema, but never the theatre before.
Yeah.
So I suppose that must. Wonder when that closed then.
I don't know.
Do you remember?
It closed as a theatre and opened up straight away as a cinema, more or less.
Yeah. Perhaps it would be Fort War then, do you think?
Like it was before.
When it closed, yeah.
I don't know when it opened it up as a cinema. I can't remember when.
No. And did these people, were they sort of local acts, do you think, that used to come?
They used to come from all over.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they were well-known acts in some respects.
Yeah.
You know, now and again they get somebody as it wasn't on television in them days. It might be somebody
No.
being on wireless. Something like
Oh, that's true.
You know.
Yeah, yeah. So you might have heard them on radio. Yeah.
And I tell you that Beighton was at a station at Beighton before they had in Sheffield,
Did it?
because the line came through Beighton and through Doncaster up into Scotland.
Right.
Well, there was 2 lines. There's LNER and LMS.
Right.
The 2 lines.
So going through that Beighton.
Going through Beighton.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah.
If you check on it, you'll find that it's right.
Yeah.
And there was a station at Beighton before there was one in Sheffield. The Sheffield line came from Doncaster that way. See?
Right.
So if you want to check on it, you can find out that Beighton was at a station before Sheffield.
Was there a sort of station house then in this?
Yeah.
A proper station?
Yeah. I don't know whether the building's still there or not.
No. Must be
If
somewhere.
I'd been down there, I could point a lot of things out, couldn't I, really?
Yeah.
I suppose.
I doubt if any buildings are still there now. They would have all gone, wouldn't they?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah.
Ah.
Because we went to, well, I think I told you about going to London from school.
Oh, you mentioned that, yeah.
And that was from Beighton Station.
That was from the station,
Yeah.
right, yeah. That must have been unusual, going on a train though.
Yeah.
Big trip to London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which in those days it was a big thing to go on the railway, never mind
Oh,
in
yeah.
the car.
Yeah,
anything
that would have
like
been.
that.
Oh, that were interesting about theatre then, weren't it? Were there anything else like that that were
Well, we used to make our own
used to do?
entertainment
What
in
did you
those
do
days.
then? What else did you do?
Well, we used to have dances and social evenings and whist
you?
drives and
Whist drive.
all sorts of things like that.
Did your church have sort of
Yeah.
social events then,
Oh,
would you
yeah,
say?
yeah.
Then?
And did I tell you about the Woodhouse? I think it Woodhouse, Hackneythorpe and Beighton District Tradesmen's Association.
No.
Well, they used to have various things transpire throughout the year, in second Sunday in August when harnesses came with the fairground.
All right.
They used to have a where they it should be where they what they call it trying to think of the name. Dodgems, where Dodgems were,
All right.
because it was a flat thing, and then they used to have an organ on there, didn't they?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
what kind of organ?
to play hymns. Well, it's a bit, electric things.
All right.
To play hymns, and they used to have a service on a Sunday night when they came, and various people sort of in a way took charge, and then vicar and Methodist minister and they'd all come down and conduct a service down there, and then
Did people join in then?
and then a collection, and the collection boxes were great big wooden boxes like that, with two slanted at Munster slotted. And there'd be one at each gate as you come in into the fairground. And then I think it was at 9 o'clock at night. They used to, just go down. And I'm not sure that we took the power van down for one or not. They brought it all up to our shop.
Right.
And then there was some big white cloth laid on the top of the block, middle block, there's a big one. And they shoot all this money up onto this block. And I see it now, there was Mr. Money and Mr. Norden, that was Lax's shop. Mr. Norden.
Oh, what's Lax's shop? Which
It
one?
used to be Butcher's.
Oh,
up
yeah.
Queen's Road.
Right.
Mr. Starsmore, he had a shop in Manvers Road. And my granddad. And I think Mr. Keeling used to come because he was clerk of the council. And he used to count all this money up. And then that went for hospital.
Oh.
That was always a donation to hospital funds.
Oh, really? Every week?
No, just at that particular service, you see.
Oh, I see. And how often did they have this then? Once
Well,
a year then?
when harnesses came at fairground.
Oh, right.
And then at Christmas time, they used to have various odds and ends functions, like in Woodhouse and Beighton, and collect a bit of money. But then at Christmas time, they used to have a meal at night for all the old age pensioners.
Oh, right.
And that was in the school, in Beighton school, because the room when you're infants, when you're going through that porchway, and on your left hand side, there's a sliding partition in the middle. And if that was open up, it was a big room, bigger than Church Hall.
Yeah.
And they used to serve meals out in there. And it probably be 2 nights because there'd be more than come to one. The McCallans and Sharp's coaches used to go to Woodhouse and pick up, some up from there. So it was all combined.
Right. So lots of shopkeepers and tradesmen all used to sort of do quite a lot really for the community, didn't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot more than what they do now, really.
Yeah.
And also when these functions went off, like my granddad might have given a pickled tongue, and cooked tongue, or a piece of ham or something like that. And Starsmore's might have given something, even if it was only a raffle prize and things like that. They were very generous people, were in those days. Very generous.
Sounds rather bad.
And we had a couple of trips out in a year usually. I can remember going to Boots at Nottingham.
Oh, yeah.
Where they were the pharmaceutical stuff. And also went to Roundtrees at York.
All right. What, just look round a factory?
Factory,
The
yeah.
factories,
And that was usually on a Wednesday afternoon when everybody was shut. So we shut at 1 and we should be in coaches by past and off.
Because you always used to have Wednesday closing, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did they all have Wednesday closing?
More or less, yes.
That's all gone,
Yes.
hasn't it, really?
Yeah. Yeah, up here it's Thursday. There's about half a dozen shops up here on a Thursday.
Oh, they do still close out
Yeah,
here.
on a Thursday there's about half a dozen shops up here.
Yeah. And we're only 4 ways out of Beighton, and what were they then?
Yeah, that was Road halfway on Essington Road, that one.
Yeah.
Up Staniforth, that was another.
Mm.
Down to Woodhouse, past, you know, where,
Cliff Wheel or whatever
Cliff
it
Wheel,
used to be.
yeah. And then up to Swanhouse.
Mm.
And when Sheffield took over from Derbyshire,
Oh yeah, 1960s that weren't it?
yeah, well when they
Ish.
took over, I got a letter back from bank thanking me for what I'd done, because that curate on that
Oh yeah,
photograph,
yeah.
he was talking to me outside the shop one Monday morning, about 9 or 10 o'clock, and I said, hey, that's funny. He said, what is it? I said, well, there's a taxi there,
Yeah.
and last week they got out of his taxi and lifted that manhole cover up there,
Oh.
which was a bit higher up in the shop. And then they put it down and they went off in taxi. I said, but bank's opening about this time. And I said, it makes you wonder. I says, but look, this morning they've come down and I'm at Cumberland End, lifted another manhole cover up and put it down and went off. He says, what did you mean? I said, well, bank's opening again in a minute. So, Woodhouse Express reports happened to come on his little scooter, same minute as this taxi was starting to move away. So we just told him. And he says, can I go in your house? And he came in, and Sheila in the house, and said, can you telephone quick? You know. So she told him what it was. And within a few minutes, there were 4 police cars that blocked all 4 exits out at Beighton.
Oh.
And they got his taxi boat, and he said, well, he says, they employ me. And they said, well, who are you? And they turned out to be Sheffield engineers, from council engineers. And they didn't know which way that so much sewage went in Beighton. And they come to open these here up and do it. And it was in a paper next day, Butcher Foyle's bike race. And I said, that's a daft thing to put that. I said, why didn't they put down wasting money, council money? And I said, well, what did they tax it for? I said, because the van that they usually come out with, they couldn't get it going, it wouldn't start or something. So they hired a taxi. I mean, the story there was wasting taxpayers' money. But it was in Daily Mirror next day.
Daily Mirror?
Foyle's bike race.
Daily Mirror?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? National News. National News? Oh. I'm sure so.
I mean, that's such a daft thing in my life.
Oh dear. No. Well, I think, yes, no, we've got loads of new interesting stuff on here anyway. Look, do you want me to take these or not though? Or shall I leave them and then...
If you want to take them and photograph them,
Alright,
whatever you
I'll
want
drop
to
them
do.
you back then. I'll
then,
drop them back, yeah.
What
We'll
are they?
photocopy it. It's a
Tell me
photo.
what-
It's a thing about
That's what Rosemary
what he found out
Oh,
about
yeah,
the house,
yeah.
and these photographs are quite.
But
good,
if you
so
tell them
I'll tell to
if you tell
photocopy
them
them. Yeah,
that part is
Yeah.
one
yeah,
up to that there,
yeah.
and on the end of that house, I've got a photograph somewhere if I can find it.
Mm.
Isn't it, Sheila? You can see where something's been constructed above it, hasn't it?
I don't know.
End
End of that
wall,
one.
Don't know
end
what you're
wall.
on about till I
Well,
Well,
saw.
then that's another piece that's been added on.
Yeah.
That was one.
Yeah.
And there's another
Another
piece
one
there
here.
being
You
added
can see
on.
that one, can't you? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get her to copy them and I'll drop them you back next week. These are.
Yeah.
Well, whenever you know that, there's no rush, though.
But no, it's interesting, that, isn't it? It's all interesting stuff. Yeah, and you've got some nice photos. Yeah, you'll keep these then. Right, so we'll switch it off now. Then that will go a little bit. Well, I thought we'll have that little bit on just in case. One of the things I was going to ask you about is, you know, like celebrations at particular times, Christmas. Is there anything special about Christmases? In going back, thinking about early days.
New Year's Eve dance. There used to be a dance at church every New Year's Eve.
Oh, did there?
Yeah.
In the church hall, that were it.
And they used to get a special, what you used to call a special licence. We used to apply and get a special licence. And because New Year's Eve it could go on while 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Mm.
But normally it went on it went on till 11, then we had special licence for up to 12, which we could get it quite easy. And anyway, the thing was that just after I came out of the army, there was I had time to have a bit of fun about it all, you know. At midnight, always have a bit of something going on. So they asked me if I would win in a pram, you see, and we said, go on, we'll do it. So Mr. Turner, Ernest Turner, lived up Southall Green. He was deformed, he had a hump on his back. Excuse me. But anyway, he was a nice old chap. He was very often emceeing things. And anyway, he went out as old year. He went outside, you see. And then when the clock struck midnight, they took me across the road and said, in cottage at far end, nearest to where our business was. And I stripped off and I put 2 pair of pants on, one way and one up. And then I got 6 years old, I put a dummy in my mouth and put a little hat or something on, and I came in, they wheeled me in, and I went New Year coming in.
Oh, I see.
They used to do all sorts of things like that, which they wouldn't do now, I don't think. It was all honest entertainment.
A bit of fun, yeah. Were there other things they did at New Year then? Anything particular?
I think there were really.
Any people used to go around doing Derby Tuck, didn't they?
Yeah, and also at one stage, like VE Day and times like that, Allen Road, Armstead Road, and all those sorts of places down that end, they used to have a decoration thing, and I've probably got some photographs somewhere, and they've got from one side of the road to the other, they've got bunting and flags and all that sort of thing, you know, and one that challenged others to have best decorations, and they get somebody to come from somewhere and judge it, you know. It was really good. I mean, they were really, in those days, like your road where you are now, everybody knew one another, and if somebody were poor, like, somebody would be in to see if they could do anything for them. Well, that's what it was like then, those days. They were united atmosphere about it.
And particularly them little, round those sort of roads, like Allen Road, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like that now, is it?
No, it's not.
Because there was roads right from bottom end to top end.
Yeah, there were 3 or 4 rows, weren't there? They were all quite small.
No, there were roads from bottom end right to the top.
Were there?
Yeah.
They'd all been there quite a while, hadn't they, I suppose?
But it was sort of a family, Allen Road family. Sometimes it wasn't, really big on the road. They were all part of what they call family in a way,
Right.
Everybody knew one another, everybody helped one another out in case of help.
So they used to decorate their roads, what was that? Do you say, every year? To celebrate
when there was something going off into the celebration, they'd do it, and it was all very nice. Then they put tables up and serve refreshments and all that sort of thing.
Like a street party.
And they'd have an old gramophone and do dancing in the street and all sorts of things.
Did they do that for any particular big occasions? I'm trying to think what else was there.
I know they did it for
coronation.
For VE Day and when war finished and all times like that. I know they did that.
Yeah. What about Queen Elizabeth II? That was 53, weren't it? Did they do it then?
Jubilee, wasn't it? King George V's Jubilee, wasn't it?
Right, remember that then?
That was one.
1935.
Oh, before war, right? They did it then, did they? Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were nice. It was a nice atmosphere, Me going round with me, So.
You used to know them all though, didn't you?
Yeah,
You'd have known everybody, wouldn't you?
I come into our door on Saturday night or whenever it was, And I said, well, I got invited to. Never mind them, you come to ours.
I suppose you got invited to everything because you must have known everybody, really.
Yeah. It's getting bad up here, isn't it, for that?
Hmm?
It's getting bad up here now for that, because they all know me up here
They
now,
all know
don't
you.
Been out this morning, she said, where you been all morning?
Oh. You can't go out without anybody noticing.
Yeah.
So, New Year, let's think, what else were there? Were there anything else that they used to do at New Year or Christmas? Any big sort of I don't know, sort of things that people used to do? Were there
Well,
anything
when we
special?
used to come out to church on a Sunday night, there perhaps be, anything up to a dozen of us, all together.
Mm.
And we'd say, shall we have a walk round and, decide what we were going to do? And we used to go down High Street very often, no, but Monkey Run they used to call it.
Alright.
And if anybody were down there we didn't know, they always just said the Woodhouses.
They what?
Come from Woodhouse.
Alright.
Woodhouse, that's it.
They were opposition with it then, Woodhouse.
But we used to walk down there, over the railway line, and then go where Rother Valley is now. We used to go either up as far as Coco's and then go up that track there, and then come down back of Bedgrave Farm, and come up Medic. It's at Sardy up Medigate, isn't it?
It's quite a long walk, isn't it, really?
Yeah, well, we just think nothing about it,
Yeah.
Oh, we used to go a shorter cut, and that was at Sardy River and sort of Bedgrave and then back up.
Right. And what did you go up there for? Just for a walk?
Just walk, gang of us,
Yeah.
Think nothing about doing all that sort of thing.
No.
I would sometimes go round Beighton and that.
Yeah. Did you used to? Were you interested in sort of wildlife? Were there anything like that were interesting at that time? Did you used to go looking for birds or anything?
Well,
Oh,
yeah. I'll
tell you one thing that surprised me when I came to Beighton. I thought all the country people would know all about that, and they didn't. I think I'd learnt more at school in botany than they knew, and that wasn't very much. So
I thought.
Tell you what. No. Did I tell you that when you went up High Street and you passed top of where you go to Eckington one way and Beighton down Southall other way, that quarry on the left hand side, did I tell you what that was?
No.
That quarry on the left hand side, that was the pinfold.
Oh, right.
Years gone by. A pinfold is where they put animals that are walking streets when it shouldn't be, or trespassing, or it's broken out of its field. Yeah. And they used to take them and put them in pinfold, and then whoever owned that animal paid a fine of perhaps a penny a day until they collected it. And then whoever found it, I think he got half of whatever he had to pay.
Yeah. So somebody looked after that pinfold there then? In these two cottages perhaps?
Probably somebody looked after it, just, I don't know how it went.
No.
But what I was going to say, as you went on Eckington Road, that quarry, you know where council have some of their equipment
Oh, they used to have curtains. Well, I don't know, they used to have something in there, didn't they? I don't know.
But anyway,
don't think they do now.
There's some slits in the rock face, where they've got stone at, there's some slits in there. There used to be owls in there.
Oh, right.
And then a summer night, we often used to have a walk and stand, and you could hear a pin drop because everybody kept quiet because they didn't want it. And you could see owls come out of these ears and then go back again.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Remember doing that ever so well.
Like that, all that rock face is still there, I think. But I think they've built some houses in that quarry now.
Topside, yeah.
They've built one in there, just one of them.
Men,
Yeah, which is where I think they used to put things.
Yeah.
But I suppose Bedgrave and is it Bedgrave? Bedgrave. All round there.
Bedgrave.
Bedgrave, yeah. That used to be quite a sort of interesting spot, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you used
It
to go
was a
down?
mill,
Was there a
yeah.
pond?
Yeah, it was a mill though down there. Yeah.
well, that's still the same one that's in Rother Valley Park.
Yeah, but
Building, I think.
it's different now to what it used to be.
Yeah. But there used to be a pond, didn't there? You didn't used to go doing anything in there, did you? Swimming or skating or anything?
I don't think there was much of a pond down that end. There might have been, but I don't remember much
I
about
wonder
it.
if you'd been down on there when you were younger, sort of. What about Easter then? Anything special at Easter that they used to do?
Oh,
The
the-
church used to organise perhaps.
there was an Easter parade.
What
and
did they used
things
to
like
do?
that.
What was that like then?
But
Can you
Easter
remember
parades were mostly Methodists and having a parade around the village with
Oh, was that?
Sunday school queens on.
Oh, that were a Methodist thing, were it?
More or less, it was,
Right.
they'd all have a Sunday school queen. Even church would have a Sunday school queen.
Did you?
Oh, they used to, go around.
Right.
So they all behind a car to a dray or something like that.
Yeah.
Sunday school queen with
Was it-
everything
was it
decorated
Easter?
up. And everything.
Was it Easter or was it Whitsun that you're talking about? We
Well,
know
various
it,
times. Yeah.
It was what?
I think they do it at both actually.
Do they? They used to have
Seem to
like
think
a lot of
so.
them used to have Easter parades, but then I know
But
they used to have Whits and things, didn't they? In
Yeah.
Sheffield?
Processions, but the processions in Sheffield.
They were
They're
at
all
Whitson.
Whitsun.
They were.
Yes.
That's true. I wondered if anything special that they used to do
Yeah.
in Beighton.
As I say, if I can find all that stuff I've got, there's photographs and all sorts of things like that in it.
Go to what events, sort of
events,
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. We used to have a cricket week
All right.
at Miners Welfare. We used to have a cricket week. Cricket team used to, each night during the week, they'd play in a different team, like somebody, like maybe Kilmar's team come one night, Woodhouse another, and that sort of thing. But usually on a Wednesday night, they try to arrange it when Derbyshire were playing at Chesterfield, at Queen's Park. Well then, Derbyshire would send a team to play Beighton.
Right.
It wasn't always the first team, sometimes it was the second team or something, but they usually sent somebody that was well known. And there was a chap called Jim Dawes, and he was a wicket keeper, and he was noted for hitting anything type of thing that came along. And we were sat up on the pavilion one night, and when we were out, and Jim came down to go in next, and as we were going down, they were saying to him, "Go on, Jim, let's have some sixes." And he said, "We'll see," something like that. And he went in, about second or third ball, he knocked a ball, and it went right over the pavilion into car park where Miners Welfare ground used to be, where fairground used to be, and he smashed a windscreen.
Oh. Did he get 6 for it then?
He got the six with it.
Got into
So
trouble.
things like that, I used to have real bits of fun with that.
You didn't play cricket then? You just used to go and watch?
Yeah.
What other sport? Were there any other sports that you used to play that they don't?
Beighton, once played workshop in the Cup, FA Cup.
Never.
We did.
When was that then?
Now then. I have to think when that'll be. It'll be 50s.
Oh,
50s.
FA Cup?
Beighton played workshop in FA Cup and they lost.
Oh.
And I think they played at workshop.
Oh. You didn't go then?
No.
Oh, you'd have been working, wouldn't you?
I think it was workshop they played. I know they played it.
So they'd always had a good football team then, always had quite a...
They did in them days.
Yeah.
I mean, there was, I'm not sure whether Stannards were on Monk's team, but Stannards, family of Stannards, they lived in Hampstead Road, Stannards, mostly. But I mean, there were one down the other week, one at Stannards. But they had a keep fit team, and they used to, there were about 4 of them in, and I can't remember the names of others, but they used to make pyramids, stand on one another's shoulders and that, and they used to do all that sort of thing. They used to go around doing that.
Did they?
Yeah, they were well known for it, making various. I mean, get one bloke up there with 2 on his shoulder, arms right out.
They weren't circus people though.
Oh no, they just did it for keep fit exercise and that. They used to do keep fit exercises, but this was part of their evening's entertainment.
Any other sports or anything that people used to do then or anything like that?
Remember, used to be able to walk that
Tennis courts were always thriving.
Tennis courts were always
Yeah.
plenty of people on. Bowling green as well.
Yeah.
There were always plenty down there. There were some lovely walks in Beighton, you know, around Beighton.
Such as what? Whereabouts did you used to go?
Well,
There was only those fields.
there were loads of fields, and we used to go up beside it, where Chapel is now, up top of Robin Lane.
Oh yeah.
There's a footpath there. We used to go through, well, where Ackenthorpe Estate is now. There used to be footpaths go around and then come back onto the main road and then come back down. Thing.
Mm.
And then there was other footpaths like going to Waterthorpe Farm, which is
yeah.
not there now.
No.
And you could go right through to up to Ridgeway that way, through up to Quarry Hill through footpaths.
Did a lot of people used to go walking about?
Oh yeah,
or
yes.
Much more than
much more than real
recently.
now.
Yeah. I suppose it was just a way of keeping fit and pastime, really, wasn't
Possibly,
it?
yeah.
Just to pass a bit of time.
Yeah.
It was a lot more interesting than sitting gazing at a screen.
Yeah.
Oh, it used to be but more home entertainment, and
Yeah.
I mean, you made your own entertainment in those days.
Mm.
The social evenings and
Did
various
people
things.
come round to your house then?
Oh yeah, you used
Even
to,
after you'd been working, because I mean you.
Oh
you'd
yeah, I mean there were nothing fresh for go somewhere and have half a dozen people
Around.
turned up,
Mm.
extra to what lived in the house.
Yeah.
Me and my mother when war was on, I don't know whether I'm going to photographs now, Andy or not, but she used to ask girls when she went to church
Mm.
if there were ATS girls, which camp was on Eckington Road. You know about that, don't you?
I can remember vaguely that yeah there was something on there.
There was
wasn't
that attack camp.
What was it? That
Anti-aircraft.
Right.
Anti-aircraft camp on Eckington Road.
Mm.
And
Was there a
it
big?
was
Was there a
just
gun?
past where Belfry is now. It was just
Oh, yeah.
that on left hand side.
And what was actually there though? Buildings
No, it was like Nissan huts and anti-aircraft guns.
and a big gun.
Yeah, there were
Oh.
quite a few, 4 or 5 guns, I think. And then there was one
I presume you're talking about wartime.
wartime. This is
Yeah.
wartime.
Was it just women that were on there?
Oh
then?
no, there was men and women, but
Right.
the ATS girls, when she went to church on a Sunday night, she
Mm.
said to them, if you like, come back, instead of going back to your billet, like, come back
Oh,
and
right.
have a cup of tea and that sort of thing. And it was nothing fresh, I think, for my mother to have at least half a dozen. Come back to the house, you know, with her.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
stop around 9 o'clock at night and go home.
Yeah.
And in fact, for years and years, she'd one or two married chaps at I don't know, American Air Force or what, but they went to America.
Oh, did you?
And my sister and my mother used to get letters now and again from them.
That's nice.
And
Mm.
I went.
Were there any more guns in Beighton then?
Yeah, I think there
Apart
was.
from that one.
I think there was one. I think it was up Drakehouse Lane, somewhere up there. If it wasn't there, it was on Skelton Lane.
Oh right. Where's that? Back of the Fox or something, is it?
Yeah, well, there used to be a road and a footpath through to where Drake House used to be.
Right. There used to be some houses down there.
Yeah, no doubt.
I can vaguely remember a farm, an
Yeah.
old farm. Mm. And did you hear these guns going off then, occasionally?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Ben came out, yeah. Mind you, I wasn't here all that long because I got in forces, you
Oh,
see.
because
so-
you went off, didn't you?
Mm.
And was that still there when you came back then? Was that camp still
When
there?
when
there
they were all
long time,
finished, and the aircraft guns went and the place was cleared more or less of all military stuff. The huts were empty, you know, the Nissan huts were all empty, and people came and requisitioned them, you know, and lived in them,
Did it?
made them out into homes.
Oh.
Yeah, and somebody come.
I think it's you've got.
And anyway, they came.
What were they like? Wood nuts, were they? Or prefabs?
Yeah, prefab type of thing, you know. But they went and lived in them.
Did they?
I think it was, that's it, it became like a little estate, you know what I mean?
Oh, right. Yeah.
And, sort of, they shouldn't have done, but they did.
No.
They
Oh, I
went,
see.
They went and lived in them, you know.
So they sort of squatted in them,
Yeah,
really?
yeah,
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I suppose there were a lot of people that didn't have anywhere to live, weren't they? Just
well, that was it, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, some of the lads came out of forces and got their heads together and says, right, we'll get in there, you know.
So who lived in them then? Were they people from Beighton? Or
Well,
did they just come from...
there were quite a few from Beighton themselves, like, you know.
Yeah.
Some I knew, but and they lived in there for quite a few years.
Yeah. And you used to go on there with your van? Your butcher's van then?
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
But they were quite decent folks. They were no way from to live probably, you
No.
see, so they just sort of requisition them and went
Yeah.
on there.
And they made them quite nice then?
Oh yeah, some of them were nice.
did
Yeah,
they?
there's a garden around and one thing.
I wonder when they got knocked down. I can vaguely remember something, even when I was little.
I can't remember them
in
being knocked down,
50s.
but they did get knocked down eventually.
Yeah. I mean, there's all that big estate there, isn't there now? That's what you
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
Where that
yeah.
Belfry pub is.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of it, up School Road, there were
Yeah.
your houses.
There weren't anything else much after that, were there?
No, they were just your houses.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the road,
Yeah.
they built those in 1930s.
Did they? Semis?
Beginning of the 1930s.
Hmm.
Because my granddad died in 1935, and they're all brand new houses then.
Right. Who
So-
built them, do you know?
Yeah, they're Turners
Oh.
on Essington Road. Turner,
Oh, right.
John Turner and Son.
Mm.
And Mr. Wilkinson built some.
Wilkinson. Right.
You know, opposite where we live,
Mm.
it was Hardwick's.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Molly Hardwick's father was Billy Wilkinson.
Oh, I see.
He built
Right.
I know he built where Mrs. Mallender lived, Mrs. Mallender,
Oh, yeah.
and next door
Yeah.
Staniforth. He built them two, I know. I
Right.
think he built some more further on.
Mm.
I think he built at least 4 more further on,
Mm.
because where Miss Jones, that teacher, lived, I think he built them there, them 4 there.
All right. And there's a couple actually across from me where I can't remember his name, chap who used to be a watchmaker.
Staniforth,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, is he your relation then?
Very, very, very distant if it is.
They were called Staniforth. We used to repair watches,
Yeah,
didn't
that's
we? Yeah.
right, yeah.
And next door
Next door mine
she's
is.
recently died.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Mrs. Mallender,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
them two, I know he built them two.
Oh, that's what I'm
And I've
thinking.
an idea he built
Mm.
next 4.
Because they are in
Yeah.
odd blocks all the way up,
Yeah.
aren't they? And what used to be, you know, I mean, when I was little, I can remember it used to be called Cow Lane. That.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What were up there then? I can't think.
Well, we're just after you leave.
Mm.
Where end house
Mm.
at older property
Mm.
is,
Mm.
they've cut it across, haven't they now? Haven't they cut it across?
Yeah,
haven't
it's a
they?
sort of
You
dead
can't
end.
go,
It's a
you
dead
can't go
end,
through,
no.
can you?
You can walk through.
Yeah, but you can't go through with a vehicle.
No.
Well, from there onwards, it was a lane. It was a bit
Mm.
rough, but it went
Yeah.
down to Bedgrave Farm.
Oh,
and you
right.
went on, you went down to Bedgrave Farm.
Right.
But further on was Oaks's Farm,
Oh, yeah.
and they originally had a slaughterhouse there, Oaks's,
Did they?
down there.
Did you used to use that one? Or did you just use to
No,
slaughter your
I
own?
used to deliver meat there actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
They built another bungalow outside of it. There was Unch lived in it last time before I remember.
Mm.
And before that it was Colburn. Colburns, they lived there. And she lives at Kinnermas now in Nicholas. I saw her a few weeks
Oh,
ago.
right. So that farm must have got knocked down then.
Oh,
Long time ago. I can't- I can vaguely remember a farm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because when they were arguing about putting an abattoir up, I thought, well, there was an abattoir there before
Yeah.
before they put it up, you know.
Yeah.
Going back to sport, his dad had a snooker table
Oh, did it?
and he covered it up with a great big board to use as a dining table. But a lot of folks used to go in for the odd game
Oh, did it?
until the onset of television. As soon as they got a television set, they didn't take the lid off to play snooker, so nobody went.
So that were in your in your house?
It was in his parents' house.
Oh, in your
Yeah,
parents'
bungalow.
house. Oh, right.
Because it's a big room, that first room,
Is it?
and that
Yeah.
bungalow.
Can you
I
remember
don't
it?
think people
You mean it?
realise how big
No.
it is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it, Sheila?
Mm.
And you all lived there later on, didn't you? You said, did you? Oh no.
They lived
When I
there.
was about 4 or 5, my
Yeah.
dad got that, and it
Mm.
was 2 buildings at one
Mm.
time, and he knocked it into one bungalow.
Right.
And then I was going to school, and my grandma Ducky said, "Oh," she said, "let him stop here and come home at weekends or whatever, you know."
Yeah.
And he's near to school, he ain't got to
Yeah.
walk from other end of the village, you see. And I more or less lived at High Street
Yeah.
permanently, you know. But then on December 13th in 1940, when Sheffield got all that blitz,
Mm.
we had my mother's uncle at Millhouse, he had a butcher shop, and he got a bomb in front of it and a bomb behind it, and everything collapsed. And they were down in the cellar, and they got out alive. And then next morning they got a lift or something to Norton, and then a lift from Norton to somewhere else, and then he walked it then, and ended at our shop about midday. And they were almost sold. My bedroom, they came and slept in my bedroom, so I had to go up then to my mother's.
Oh.
So that's when I left
Oh, I
High
see.
Street to go to my mother's.
Right.
Well, I went up there all that long when I went in forces, you see.
Oh, I see. Right.
And then when I came back, because I went back to my mother's, well, when I came on leave I always went to my mother's.
Mm.
But, I mean, the thing was that when I did come home, every time I came home on leave I used to work in the shop,
Yeah.
helping out. And then when I got demobbed in, I think it was October, I got that much leave accumulated. I got leave until the week before Christmas. And I came home on Saturday, tea time. I went to church, thank God that I'd managed to come out alive.
Mm.
The Monday, I don't know, I went to either Chesterfield or Eckington for my ration book and for my insurance stamp card and things like that. So I went to Chesterfield one day and Eckington the next, because we were under Derbyshire, you see.
Mm.
And had a phone call, would I go down to the shop because my uncle's elbow had something gone wrong with it. And so I went down and rations had come. So I had to sort that out. And then next day I said, if it's no better in the morning, ring me up and I'll come back again. So next day I went down and I did some more work in the shop. And then Wednesday morning we got a phone call, they were taking him into hospital. So I came down at Wednesday and took over.
Well, that worked then.
And so I didn't get much leave at all.
No.
You can imagine.
So you never went in that you just carried on after that then, did you? Working in
Well, I had odd days off, you know, but
Yeah.
I more or less worked
That
all
way.
the time.
You came back at right time then, didn't you, really?
Story of my life, I think.
Just at right place, right time. Oh dear. So you were here then when the Blitz were on? Yeah, I thought.
I
I
think
think
so, only for...
because it only a few days, weren't it? That 1940.
Well, it wasn't.
Was it a week?
I mean, it was only for a week, but it never stopped, did it?
Well,
Sheila?
the
Blitz
Blitz,
on Sheffield
it
never
was
really stopped.
actually two separate nights.
Oh, was it?
I don't know, it's one or
Friday,
two nights in between
December 13th. and
that
then
were
the
really hammering. There were
Mm.
other air raids, of course, I mean, but an air raid would sort of perhaps last very short time and no bombs dropped. So you didn't sort of remember them, but the 2 nights of the Blitz, it was bang, bang, bang all night.
And were they dropping them on the way in then? Were they,
Yeah,
as they
well,
went in? It's not far from Sheffield, is
if
it?
plane got hit with a kite, you know,
Oh, right.
and it was damaged, don't matter where they were, they used to let go a lot to get back home. Do you understand me?
Oh, I see, right.
That's
yeah.
why Beighton Beighton had more bombs than any other village in Derbyshire.
Did it?
Yes. Yeah. And if you look at records up, you'll find that Beighton had more bombs than any other village in Derbyshire. Because as they turn around to come back or go into Sheffield, and they got hit, they just dropped everything. Didn't matter where it was to get home. You see, lighten the load to get back.
Did you go in air raid shelters then? Did you have one in your shop or whatever? Or did you go in cellar?
It's cellar.
Did you? Yeah.
But if I were on duty,
They couldn't always put an air raid shelter in everybody's house.
No.
Because I lived at Crooks and the neighbours had one, but they couldn't put one in our garden because of the drain pipes.
Right.
So we used to go into next doors, but up to them getting one, we went in the cellar. So there were more cellars used than air raid shelters, I think.
Yeah. They were safe enough for them.
oh
Well,
yeah,
I suppose unless
that
your
was-
house went, then that would, when you did.
But cellar at Beighton, it was a good cellar.
Was it?
Got out of solid rock.
Oh, you were saying that.
But we put a sleeper across the top.
A
and then-
direct hit, you'd had it.
Yeah.
We put a sleeper across the top and put 2 more sleepers up to support it.
All right.
I don't think, unless it's got a direct hit, I don't think anybody would have hurt it.
No. So did you spend a lot of time in cellar then?
Well, yes and no.
Yeah.
Till I went in. Well, I used to go in Warden's Post at the old cow house at Bottom Cow House at Beighton.
Cow house, where was that then?
Back to that slaughterhouse, there was some cow houses on that.
All right.
And one of those were made into a G16 Warden's Post.
All right. Is that where you like little office?
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, that Warden's Post, it was sandbagged on one side and so on and so on and so on.
You only
That's in the
took
backside.
shelter when the sirens had gone. There'd be a siren going.
So the siren went,
There was an air raid likely.
I know we used to operate siren then in Beighton. Where was the siren?
I think siren were at Pit.
Oh, were it? Did they just use a pit?
It was the Home Guard that operated it, wasn't it?
Could
Was
have
it
been,
Home
could
Guard?
have been.
You weren't in at Home Guard then.
No, I was in Warden's.
Is that
Air
different
raid
thing?
Warden before I went in Army.
Air raid wardens. That's different from
Yeah.
Home Guard.
And
isn't it?
then when I came out, I went into specials.
It isn't
Right.
actually different. They changed the name to Home Guard.
Did they?
It was ARP at first,
ARPs.
Air Raid Precautions, and then they changed the name.
Did they?
Yes, I think
Yeah,
it was
but
only months into the war.
Yeah, my own guard was
I thought it was,
armed.
I thought they were, no, there was something else. I thought there was something else, to be honest.
Own guard were armed and
I thought I was there, like.
Wardens weren't armed.
Alright, it's long.
Just
Oh,
so right.
No, it's still on. I was making sure it's still on. Perhaps they used. Did they think they must have just used a pit siren then? You wouldn't think everybody'd hear it though, because it's long.
Oh
quite
yeah,
a way
they
away,
were
weren't
loud.
it? Oh, were it?
Oh man, when sirens started going, you could hear them going in the next village and next.
Oh, could
couldn't
you?
you?
Were the people running about all
yeah.
over then? Oh no, I suppose
Not
they got. I don't suppose they
necessarily,
did.
not necessarily.
Eventually, I suppose people got
I
used to
think
it.
they
didn't
got used to it a lot of them and they just didn't bother.
No. But what about kids at school then? Because you were near
You
school,
couldn't
weren't
miss
you?
a
Weren't they?
siren, it'd be going woo 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 for
Yeah.
2 or
Couldn't
3
miss it.
minutes, and
Oh,
there'd be,
couldn't
from where we were, you could hear about 5 or 6 different ones.
Yeah. Did people come across to your shop and go in your cellar then? Perhaps?
No,
Or not?
we didn't have much in the daytime, did you?
Did
at
you?
all?
Oh,
No.
right.
It was all
All
night
at night,
time.
were it? Mm.
In fact, I don't think that they got as far as Sheffield at daytime because aircraft had gone and
There
they
were.
shut them down, you know, before
There
then.
were some in the daytime.
There was odd ones, but nothing.
Not
like-
many, no. Right.
I remember actually seeing a plane with a cross on when I was only about 14, and Mum and I were at somebody else's house, and my little brother was at home, and the sirens went, and my mum wanted to go home to my little brother, and I said, "We think we ought to stay put." But we set off, and a plane came over, and it got a big black cross on underneath.
Oh dear.
I said, I think we ought to go back. Because I thought, well, if my mum and I get killed on the way home, what good am we to my little brother, and neighbours would look after him.
Yeah.
So we went back and took shelter. And it was all right, the neighbours had took him in. But he wasn't in the shelter, he would only been next door's house.
Yeah.
But he took chances.
Yeah, I suppose that's right. But you were saying your uncle's shop got bombed then? Uncle, I didn't realise.
My mother's uncle.
Mother's uncle?
Yeah, at Aberdeen Road. 991
There were
Aberdeen Road.
few with butcher shops, and I didn't realise it was Aberdeen Road. That. So they never went back then and had another shop, did they?
Couldn't do because it was all
Just all gone.
gone.
I suppose they were. What about
They lost
insurance? I suppose that
they
were
lost lot.
just lost everything.
Yeah.
Must have been
Yeah,
terrible. That.
Yeah. No, I don't think anybody, unless they were there at that particular time of life, you know, could understand what was happening in those days or what did happen.
No.
I don't think so.
No, and I suppose
We
that's it to
didn't get
lose
a lot
everything.
of detailed news either as to what was happening.
I mean, much of
No.
that stuff is not written down or whatever. Is
Well,
it?
no. That's the idea of this.
Mm.
Because you didn't, is it? A lot of what it were like for ordinary people, you know,
Yeah.
to lose all the stuff.
I mean, rations, as they
Mm.
were.
Mm.
They were meat. It was either sort of at Chesterfield or whatever, brought to Chesterfield, and it was allocated out and distributed from Chesterfield to various other places. Well, there was one lot at Chesterfield, one lot at Staveley, and the other lot from Abertoir at Chesterfield was at Kilmash Court on Bridge Street.
All right.
And I don't know about other side of Chesterfield. Well, with a little giant van at that time, before I went in the army, used to send New Zealand lambs and the legs used to be cut off and shoved inside the other part of it. So instead of a lamb being a yard or more length, it wasn't, it was only about 2 foot. You see, so they could pack more in a space. And that little giant van, I could get 40 lambs in it.
Cram them in.
Because they were packed, you see,
Yeah.
little solid bundles. Like.
Yeah.
They could have had a better idea of how to pack it. You had to bring them like that. And then we used to go to Chesterfield, one or other of us, and then we were allowed one petrol coupon for extra to fetch it. You see? So with one extra coupon for fetching it, you see, for that person that fetched it, they bring it through to Kilmash. And then when it got to Kilmash, say, Mr. Norton, he perhaps get 2 lambs, we might get 2 lambs, or this Renshaw one, depending on how many ration books you had, you see.
Right.
And then next day you'd have, or we might not get any for another 2 or 3 days. But next time you went, you might have got £20 of beef or £30 of beef, and that was.
Yeah.
So the 4 weeks out, you got your full ration.
Yeah. So did you have particular customers that you used to have their ration books? Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
keep their ration books?
Yeah.
Then?
No,
Oh, right.
no, they had a. I might have got one somewhere. Your ration book had a page in, you see, and more often than not, they used to give us all the meat page.
Oh, I see. Right. And then you went and claimed
for year,
theirs,
whatever.
sort of thing. Right.
Then we used to put down, 300 vouchers or whatever it was, or in case 500 or 600 vouchers that we had. We used to, that allocation was notified, you see, and then they would say, well, your allocation is 500, you're allowed
Right.
10th of that today, so you get £50, do you get me?
Yeah.
And then that's how it went on, so that you got your share,
Yeah.
but it was all done like that.
Oh. Take a bit of organising that wouldn't it? And when did all that finish then? Because it went on after, didn't
It went on
into,
after war.
into what, 1950s, well into it.
Yeah,
Mid 50s, I can't remember now.
What, the
when rationing finished with meat,
Well,
I'm
particularly.
trying to think when it did.
Rationing was a gradual process. Different things came
Yeah.
off ration at different
But what
times.
about your meat? When did
I
that stop?
don't know when meat came
I
off.
think it was 1950s.
Oh,
53 or 4, something
I
like
know
that.
the last thing to come off was 1953,
Mm.
but I can't remember what it was. I think it
When it did come off ration, they said that, you know, rationing meat, rationing in a month's time or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they came and inspected all the old slaughterhouses. If you had to apply to slaughter once more again, you see.
Oh, right. Oh, because you didn't do any slaughtering it more then?
Well, no, you're not
And
well,
what rationing
you weren't
was?
allowed to, apart from
Oh, I see.
you,
I suppose that's how
you
our
could-
black market got going,
no,
isn't it?
you could if you wanted go out and slaughter. If somebody had kept a pig in the back garden, which they were
Which they
allowed
must
to
have
do,
done.
yes,
Yeah.
they were allowed to do. They had to ask the food, whatever it was,
Yeah.
might have been go to Eckington and sign a form at Eckington
Right.
to say that could you slaughter this pig, you
Mm.
see, and you could slaughter one every, I don't know, it's every 12 months or every 6 months, what it was.
Mm.
In that household was one
Right.
to do it.
Right.
Well then, when you got this here chit to say you could do it,
Yeah.
then it come to us and we used to go and slaughter in the backyards.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You went and did it
But
for
provided we got this.
You could do it, did
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Provided we got this chit to say we could do it, we
Right.
could do it. You see.
Yeah.
And then when we got there and did it and that, then if it were pig, they wanted some salting and curing. Then I used to go and do
that.
it next day, you see,
Oh,
whatever. And the inspector sometimes would come out just to check to see if it was right, what
right.
he'd done and that. And then
It's a rigmarole, isn't
they
it?
weren't allowed any meat
No.
for X amount of
Oh, I see.
weeks, sort of thing.
If
You
they'd got
understand?
their own pig, that
They
were
got
it.
their
then
own
they'd
pig, that was part
forgo
of their
the-
allocation.
Right. I see what you mean.
because even then, going to a butcher's, you couldn't get exactly what you want because things disappeared off the market.
Yeah.
You couldn't get
Oh,
any
I'm sure they
offal
must
at
have
one
been.
time for
No,
years.
couldn't
Didn't
you?
see any liver or heart or kidneys or
Oh.
anything like that. And I think it all went to the army.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But there'd be some things that you just couldn't get. You just had to more or less say what you got in this week
Mm.
and take
Wait,
what was,
the-
take what was an offer.
The week before rationing finished, the only thing we got was lambs, New Zealand
Yeah.
lamb, and we didn't get anything else. That week before rationing finished,
Yeah.
and they all said, "Oh, you keep it meat back."
I bet they did.
you know, you're not doing that. They didn't realise that that's all we got, no
Oh.
pork and nothing,
No.
and it was a right joke. 'Cause everybody was grumbling about
Well,
it.
I bet they were grumbling.
But I went out on we were allowed to buy in a week beforehand, and my uncle went to Cale and bought a beast there.
Oh.
And I went to my cousin's at Aston, and he got a heifer there, and you couldn't get her into calf, so he's keeping her, and she was a well built animal, and I said, "Go on, I'll have her off you, George." So he says, "All right." So we agreed on price,
Yeah.
and when chap came from Calo with one from Calo, he came up here to my cousin's and fetched that one there, so that on the Monday morning we killed 2 beef. You
All
see.
right. You got some meat in there.
So we were all right. We got fixed up all right. Yeah. But that shop at Chester at Aberdeen Road at Sheffield, my mother's
Oh, this
uncle.
one that got bombed.
Yeah, my mother's uncle. He had a youth work for him, delivering meat on a bike up Aberdeen Road, Welladale Road, Abbey Lane. Trying to think of the name up there. Chippendale. Is it Chippendale Road up there?
Chippendale, yeah.
There was about 6 different roads up
Mm.
there, and once he had a week's holiday. This was before the war. He had a week's holiday, you see, a year. So that week's holiday had to correspond when school were off. Because he used to take me back up bus, come over on Sunday and fetch me, take me back up bus at Sunday. And then I used to go up and back up Sebon Road, Aberdeen Road or whatever, come back with all orders in a little book, pick the other one up Wherledale Road, get orders from that, and then that's how I did it, and then I used to deliver them all.
All right. Well, you used
And
to fill
then-
in while you were on
And
holiday.
then at night, we used to have a walk into Mouses and Park, Aberdale Park, you know,
Oh yeah.
and that was my holiday, that.
Oh right. Imagine probably quite a bit of a change, wouldn't it? I
Yeah.
suppose. Yeah. And did you get any tips from anybody then? Did they used to give you good
I
tips
can't-
up there? Because
I
they were
can't-
quite well off up some of
I
them.
can't remember much
Were
about
they
it,
then?
actually.
Probably not so much.
It's
these
going
days.
back to 1936, 37.
Yeah. Were there any? What did you say? You used to make your own meats then,
Oh yeah.
and sausages and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah,
Were there
yeah,
anything?
yeah. Tons of it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Were there anything unusual that you think that you used to make that people don't have now? Do you think?
Yes, that salted bacon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That used
What
to
was
get
that
hung up
Yeah.
for literally months.
Oh right.
And people used to still, well, they used to like it hung up a long time.
Did they?
And there was-
Home cured, dry cured.
That's
Yeah.
it, that's what I'm trying to say, yeah.
Home dry cured.
Yeah.
And
What
then-
bacon that was it then?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
And how did you make that then? How did you make it? What did you have to do to it?
well, if it like on cellar, there were some stone benches,
Mm.
and they used to be covered in salt, and then you get your whatever you're going to do, hams or whatever, you get it, and you rub in saltpetre, and then that opens the pores up,
Mm.
and then you put your salt on, and so the salt can go into it, and then you cover it with salt, and leave it like that for 3 weeks.
All right. You didn't put it in pots or?
It,
Wrap it up and anything?
we can do. I used to do some of that. That was that wasn't dry salted. That was just brine salted
Right.
in a brine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was 10 gallon of water and 8 ounces of saltpetre and about a stone of salt.
Mm.
I'm telling you all these here secret recipes. You're selling all these here.
I don't think anybody will want to use them these days.
Were they secret? Were they quite protective about things like that then? I mean, did you have your own?
If you were taught to do it one way, you usually did it that way. Sort of
Right.
thing, you know.
Right. Were there a lot of competition from it? Best sausages and stuff then?
Well, I suppose they were. I once did Beighton Scouts once asked me to do, I don't know, was it half a mile of sausage?
Oh,
Can you
right.
remember it?
No,
Half a mile.
no, I
I
can't.
had an idea they asked me to do half a mile of sausage because it
right.
was going to be a competition. or
Oh
something.
yeah.
And I took challenge on,
All right.
and I spent ever so much time on this job. And
Does it have to be one continuous half?
yes, it was one continuous sausage.
All right.
When it got to end of the skin,
Mm.
I used to overlap other skin onto the top of it, you
Oh,
see.
Oh.
So it came through. I mean that sausage filling, well, it's £10 a sausage each time you fill it up.
Yeah.
That was about it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sausage filler. Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
How
And
how
turn
did you
on
know
and-
when you got to the half mile?
I don't know, I can't do it. I don't know how much sausage meat
When
I
your
made.
arm were aching, I was thinking you were
I
doing
don't know how much sausage meat I made. I know it was a lot.
that.
And Scouts, one bit at our place, one at our old sheds back at farmyard sheds,
Mm.
was empty, and they used to put all the newspapers in the Sheila.
Oh.
They used to bring newspapers,
Oh,
collect
yeah.
newspapers,
That
and
was a
then
big
sell it
style,
for
big
What
style,
for?
the
yeah.
money. They used to collect newspaper and then
Oh.
get so much a ton
All right.
for getting it.
Mm.
Recycling before it became
Yeah.
Yeah.
popular.
Before anybody thought about it.
Those sausage machines weren't as easy as they looked. I mean,
No.
you could just
So what
do
did you-
this and it'd come out as sausage.
Yeah.
I tried it on little sausage, a yard of skin, and another little sausage.
Oh, it's a secret on its own. That.
Is it?
Oh, it is,
I
you've
went-
just got to get the right. You can't go around like that.
No.
I went to York Racecourse, I went to Doncaster Racecourse,
Mm.
and I don't know where else I went. But Bernard Matthews, Turkeys,
Oh.
they sent men out explaining how to bone a turkey out without breaking outside.
Oh.
So he took all the bone out without breaking the outside shape. You see, and then I went to, as I say, I went to Doncaster and I went to York race courses because it was at night time, and went on these courses, and so I learned how to
Bone
bone
turkeys.
turkeys out without breaking skin, as they call
And
it.
what would you want to do that for then? Why did they do that?
Well, if you could do it properly, you could fill it full of something like, and then slice it up or whatever.
Oh.
You know, you could do it for customers,
And did you used to do that in India?
and I did odd ones,
Yeah,
yeah. And I once did with a Scottish friend. On Christmas, he asked me if I'd do it for New Year's Eve, and I boned a chicken out, and I boned a rabbit, pound of sausage meat, and packets of stuffing. And I boned it all out completely, and I put stuffing and sausage meat inside the carcass of the chicken, and then the rabbit was boned out, and I put that in, and then I finished spinning it up with sausage meat and stuffing, and then took it in and I cooked it for New Year's Eve, because Scottish, you see, they have New Year's Eve better than what they do Christmas.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he said, "Oh, that's lovely that," he said, "come round," he said, "and have a slice or two." And when you slice it, you see, it was all like different
Oh,
things,
but that was
you see,
amazing. I've never heard that
and
before.
it was beautiful,
Oh,
absolutely beautiful.
I've never heard that before. A rabbit inside a turkey.
Yeah. Well, it's
It is novel, isn't it?
But different anyway.
Yeah.
I
Were
was
there
interested
other
in doing
special
that
things
sort of
like that then that
Pardon?
you did? Any other special things you
I
used to do?
was interested in doing that sort of thing,
Yeah.
you see. I mean,
It's a
when-
skilled job, isn't it? That,
yeah.
right?
I mean, when I was in army at Halifax, I was supposed to be convalescing because I got wounded,
Yeah.
and they asked me if I'd go and cook it officer's mess because there's nobody up there to cook for them. And I said, "Oh, I don't want to cook there." I said, "I don't stop here and get cured, like, you know, and get." "Oh, you'll be all right up there. Everyone's a doctor," which they were. You see, every officer was an MO. So anyway, I went up and they fixed me up with a nice little room and bed and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I was in clover, you see.
Yeah.
And anyway, they were on about various types of food and they got them. And I thought, well, I ought to do something for a change, you see. So there were some rabbits just outside back in a little coppice. I put some snickers down and I caught two. So next morning, I reached them in without officers seeing me. And I skinned them and got them ready. And I boiled them in clear water, just clear water. And you put about a tablespoonful of vinegar and about a teaspoonful of bicarbonate soda. And I boiled them until they're all meat was coming off a bone. I got them off because by that time it's gone white. I don't know whether it's bicarbonate or whether it's vinegar that does it, but it makes flesh go white, you see. So I got all the flesh off of bones and everything, put him on a big meat dish and covered it with plain white sauce with parsley on. Served it up with cooked chicken, and you can't tell the difference. You can't, the earthy taste gone, you see, so you can't tell the difference.
Enjoyed that then, did they?
They wanted to pay me for whipped chicken. Where had I got chicken from?
Oh,
I wanted
see.
to pay me for it. I said, "No, I don't want anything."
No, because they wouldn't have had much chicken.
Anyway, it got to the stage where I got some more a week after.
Oh.
Didn't see him again. And catering officer come and he said, "Hey, come on, Staniforth," he says, "I want to know where you get these chickens from." I says, "Well, if you come in morning, I'll show you." So he came in next morning. I says, "Have you brought any of your mates with you?" He says, "No." I said, "Well, it's between you and me and nobody else, this." He says, "All right." So I showed him rabbits, like, and I showed him what I did. He kept coming in during the course of the day to see what I would do at night. And then at night, I said, "I'll serve it up as chicken again tonight, you know." He says, "I bet you will as well." So when I went in at night time with dishes on the table and that, And I said, I hope you enjoy this. It's chicken again. And he says, I've seen him do it today. I said it as well, you know. And didn't say he wasn't chicken. He didn't let me down. He didn't let me down. And they all enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Funny that.
But you see, if you take interest in your job, it makes a huge difference, I think. That's your point.
And you've always been like that, haven't you? Obviously with me.
Well, if I'm doing something, I
You do
like
it
to
for-
know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's your main thing. But I'm sorry, I can't find all that stuff.
Your pictures, I don't know.
I've got a
I could go
load
to
of
Low,
stuff
actually.
somewhere. A load.
Can I go to your loo?
Of course you can.
I'll give you a break for a minute. Whoops. Just have a think if there's anything else that you've